Hey everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show and tell you about Noom. Has Noom helped you? I believe it has.
Oh, that's got an app. You can do tracking. It's terrific.
It does. Noom builds personal plans that can meet individual needs. That's the thing. Takes into account any dietary restrictions, medical issues, other personal needs. That helps build a plan that works for you. And yes, so I know that you've had your own personalized program here that you've been working on. And
it's weight loss This is weight loss results that last. They stick around because you get yourself into a lifestyle change. That's what matters.
That's mainly it. You can't just say, I'm going to cut that out for a month and then go back to it. That's not what it is. So I'm glad it's helping you. That's great. And it really does. I like the psychology and biology-based approach here. Yeah. Noom Weight uses psychology. That's why they say losing weight starts with your brain, but it also takes into account your unique biological factors, Jimmy. All of your multitude flora and fauna that goes on inside of you there. Sure. Yeah. Stay focused on what's important to you with Noom's psychology and biology-based approach. Sign up for your trial today at Noom.com, Noom.com here, based on 3.5-year study of actively engaged Noom users with minimum starting BMI of 25. Individual results may vary. Visit our website for more information. Hey everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you a little bit more about Rocket Money. It's the start of a new year. It's the perfect time to get organized, set your goals, prioritize what matters most. And for me, top priority is getting myself together here. Financial wellness, doing that, which that feels important, just feels like adult stuff that you have to do. And thanks to Rocket Money, my goals feel achievable now. They show me all my subscriptions in one place, help me easily cancel ones I forgot that I've been paying for, which happened to me, absolutely happened to me. For years, I was paying for something. I was like, what is going on here? Rocket Money found it and saved me lots of money since then, because it's been a while. So they did a great job here. Rocket Money is a personal finance app that helps find and cancel your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps lower your bills so you can grow your savings. Rocket Money has over 5 million users and has saved a total of $500 million in canceled subscriptions, saving members up to $740 a year when using all the app's premium features. Cancel your unwanted subscriptions and reach your financial goals faster with Rocket Money. Go to rocketmoney.com/smalltownmurder today. That's rocketmoney.com/smalltownmurder. rocketmoney.com/smalltownmurder.
Now back to the show.
Welch's knows some things make zero sense, like why the algorithm knows your music tastes better than you do. But zero sugar and full flavor? We made that make sense with new Welch's Zero Sugar. All that passion fruit or tropical punch goodness and none of the sugar. You gotta sip it to get it. New Welch's Zero Sugar. Let's fruit stuff up.
This week, in Hondo, New Mexico, a very famous man finds that his house has been turned into a bloodbath and that the property's caretakers are nowhere to be found, leading to gruesome discoveries and a twisted tale of darkness. Welcome to Small Town Murder. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Small Town Murder.
Yay!
Yay, indeed, Jimmy. Yay, indeed. My name is James Pietragallo. I'm here with my co-host.
I'm Jimmie Whisman.
Thank you, folks, so much for joining us today on another, I'm telling you, wild edition of Small Town Murder again, as they are every week. Hope you've been enjoying the last few here. Before we get started here, you should definitely head over to shutupandgivememurder.com. Get your tickets for live shows, everybody.
Better do it.
That's right. September the 20th, Minneapolis State Theater. It's beautiful. It is. We're going to befoul it with dick jokes. So come on in, hang out with us, see a live Small Town Murder. If you've never been to a live show, all I can say, it's not like a college lecture or something. We're comedians. It's a comedy show. We're uncomfortable if you're not laughing a lot. So we don't know how to be on stage and have people be quiet. That'd be weird. So it's going to be all the murder, all the pictures, and tons of jokes. Trust us, you're going to walk out of there hurting. So definitely come check us out there. September 20th, and the rest of the year is also for sale. Oklahoma City is just about sold out. We're like 10 tickets scattered throughout the place. Individuals, that's there. Kansas City selling quick. Also Boston and New York at the end of the year. They're almost gone. So get your tickets right now if you want to get in there as well. Shut up and give me murder.com is where you get all of that. You certainly want Patreon as well, because I know you're listening to this. You're listening to Express, Small Town Murder Express. You're listening to Crime and Sports on Mondays, and of course you're listening to Your Stupid Opinions, and you're like, I need more. Well, we got it for you. Anybody, $5 a month or above. We have a back catalog that's huge, just clogged with bonus episodes, hundreds of them that you're going to get right away. New ones every other week, one Crime and Sports, one Small Town Murder. This week is no different. What we're going to get here for Crime and Sports, we're going to talk about the Duke lacrosse disaster, that whole scandal, that the party and the strippers. It's a wild time there. And then for Small Town Murder, we were going to talk about the Idaho murders, this Brian Koberger idiot, and we're going to get into this because this guy's pissing me off. I don't like it when there's a mountain of evidence against you and you're just like, I don't know what you're talking about. It drives me crazy. It drives me crazy. Like, if you're dumb enough to leave lots of evidence behind, take it on the chin, bro. So we're going to talk about this guy a little bit in this whole situation here. That's wild stuff. That's patreon.com/crimeinsports is where you get all of that. And you'll get a shout out at the end of the show where Jimmie's going to mispronounce your name. He's going to try, but it's not going to work out. So we know how that goes every time. There you go. So get those. Get Patreon. Disclaimer time.
Here we go.
This is a comedy show. It's also extremely and scarily real at the same time. We're comedians, though. There's going to be jokes. We can't help it. That's how we do things. But I'm telling you, nothing's made up for comedic effect or anything like that. No silly shit like that we're not going to get into here. In the way, you might go, how do true crime and comedy go together? And we go, very easily, as a matter of fact. You just avoid certain things. There's nothing funny about an actual murder. When someone's dismembering someone, we're not like, that's hilarious. And then that's not where it is. There's plenty of comedy out there, especially when you think about it. Someone goes, I'm going to murder people and get away with it. And then they're a moron. That's hilarious right there. That's what we do. What we don't do, though, we never make fun of the victims or the victims' families.
Why?
Because we're assholes.
Yeah, but
we're not scumbags. That's how that works here. So that sounds good to you. Woof, you're going to hear a wild story. Do you think true crime and comedy should never, ever go together? Not sure exactly why you clicked on this to begin with, but what we'll say is definitely no bitching later because we're going to hear a wild story. It's going to be fun and all that. So for everybody out there that wants to hear some crazy stuff here, I think it's time.
Let's do it.
Let's sit back here. I think it's time. Let's all clear the lungs, arms to the sky. Let's all shout. Shut up and give me murder. Let's do this, everybody. Let's go on a trip, shall we? Let's take off. We're going somewhere. You're not going to like it at all, Jimmie.
No.
New Mexico.
Not a fan.
Your least favorite state.
I think bad place.
Being born in Colorado and then growing up in Arizona, it's also like a local thing. So it's the state below you and east of you, and it's you're gonna hate it. It's
miserable.
There.
Yeah.
And also it's a miserable shithole. So you add those two things together.
It's the same the whole time.
You really get something. This is in south central New Mexico. It's down there, closer to the border than to Albuquerque. Put it that way. It's about
Santa Fe.
It's about 3 hours to Albuquerque. 2 hours to our last episode, which was Fort Sumner, New Mexico, the last one we did in the state, episode 466. No Remorse, Plenty of Stupid was the name of that one. This is in Lincoln County, which you've probably heard of because there was the Lincoln County Wars was a big thing back then. So we'll talk a little bit about that in the history. And area code here, 575.
Did you say the name?
Hondo. Yeah, Hondo, New Mexico. I said it at the top. I said it at the top, and then when it says it's Hondo, New Mexico. Hondo with an O instead of an A. Yeah. There you go.
Name of my mom's dog.
Hondo?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because of a John Wayne movie.
Interesting. Do you know what it means?
It means John Wayne was in it.
Yes. That's actually that's how the Spanish came up with that hundreds of years ago, knowing about John Wayne's future, which is pretty remarkable, I got to say, for any kind of culture to come up with that. The county was named after Abraham Lincoln, and it was once the largest county in the United States.
Wow.
Not in people, but in land. Yeah.
Covering the whole state.
A lot of these, too. In southwestern Arizona, we went over this in a bonus episode about Doc Holliday and stuff. It was the hugest huge county. It was the whole southwestern part of Arizona was one county back in the day here. This became the site for the Lincoln County War in 1870s between ranchers and the owners of the county's largest general store. That was the beef.
This is Jesse James's shit, right?
This is Billy the Kid. This is Billy the Kid. Became involved on the side of the ranchers after his friend was killed, and that's how this happened. If you've ever seen Young Guns, it's loosely, factually sort of accurate. Yeah.
In the back, goddammit.
At least how it all builds up is kind of factually accurate, and then it, becomes dramatic at the end.
Then it becomes teenage boys fighting for an old man.
That's how it goes.
It's kind of weird.
It's a little bit strange. It's kind of like the boy band documentary there with. Except that this old man didn't have a fucking Ponzi scheme going on the side, too.
Yeah. And in the end, Justin Timberlake just gets a DUI.
That's it. That's the end. It's a big ending. That's the craziest documentary of all time because I've never watched a documentary and went, no molestation at all? What the fuck?
Nope.
I was expecting
it.
I was expecting it. I was braced for it. I was braced to hear about, Lance Bass getting his nuts tickled by an old man. Never happened. Weird.
I wanted to feel pity for Chris Kirkpatrick. Now I have none.
I couldn't do it. So in the end, Billy the Kid killed the county sheriff and that deputy, a deputy, and a deputy also that killed his friend too. So he got his revenge there, and that's how that went. So people in this town, in the whole area, there's about 1,000, but they say the population, I guess, of the town proper is 459. Okay. This is some out there shit. There's tiny. There's nothing here. I mean, it's really
nothing at all.
Not a lot of anything going on. A few more females than males, about average. Median age here is well above the national average. It's 37 in the rest of the country. Here it's 59.7 is the median age. Wow. Almost 60. There is no one in the age groups of 0 to 4. There's no babies.
Not baby. Yeah.
15 to 17.
Wow.
18 to 20, 21 to 24, 25 to 34, or 45 to 54.
Wow.
No one. So there's some kids aged 5 to 14, and then everyone else is over 55. So I don't know how the hell that happened, but that's what's going on here. It's these small. Anytime you're under 1,000, the stats can get real wacky.
And there's probably not a lot of those youthful ones. If the average age is 50-something.
A couple. Their parents died. 7. They came to live with their grandparents or something. That's all it is. It's 78% married. It's usually 50-50 in this country. 8.3% divorced here. So there's no divorce either. It's very strange here. This town has only white people and Mexican people. There's nobody else. That's
Nothing
it.
else.
It's 33.3% white, 66.7% Hispanic. Done. That's it. It's only the people that are here. Unemployment rate here is pretty high. It's 8.8%, which is double the national average here. Median household income here, not terrific. $40,977 is the median household income. It's about $69,000 in the rest of the country. So people are hurting here.
What are they doing here?
Well, people are either very wealthy and own giant ranches, or they're poor and they work on those ranches. That's the only people that live here. That's it. And even the ranch hands, those are a lot of older people from what I've discovered from this.
Well, they've got to be.
It's not a thing that a lot of kids are like, I'm going to be a ranch hand. That's just it's an older profession.
Yeah.
So it tends to be older guys and the older people you hire because they tend to know what they're doing more with everything.
Sure.
Cost of living here, 100 is regular average. Here it's 89. Now, housing is the cheap thing. Housing cheaper. The median home cost is $309,000 here, which is below the average. But there's no real houses that cost that is the problem, as we'll find out with our Hondo, New Mexico real estate report. The average 2-bedroom rental here, which there's no apartment complexes or anything, so I don't know where that's coming from.
If it's a half address somewhere?
It's 770, which is well below the national average. Here's a 3-bed, 2-bath, 1,568-foot shitty manufactured home.
Yeah.
But it's on 3 acres. All these properties come with acres. That's the thing, too. So you can't get just like a house on a quarter acre. That doesn't exist here. You have to buy acreage.
There's no tract homes.
No tract home. No cul-de-sacs or, neighborhoods, so to speak. So it's an outdated manufactured home. I mean, what do you want? It's someone's old carpeting in there. Mm-hmm. That's what I don't like is when there's carpeting. I don't want to like sit on my living room floor and smell your feet from like the previous owner. I don't want that. I don't know what you did on that floor.
I don't want carpet in the house at all.
No.
Roll up your rugs and throw them out.
Gross.
We'll mop and now your DNA is not in here.
Yeah, put some fucking flooring down and bleach it, please. For the love of God. So this place, $325,000 for that though.
Jesus
For a shitty manufactured home, but you get 3 acres of land.
That's not worth it, is it?
I would say not. Not unless you want to build a new house, probably. Here's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,646 square foot house. So not that big. It's a little ranch. Yeah. It even has like the little gate entrance there, but there's no sign above it that says what ranch
you get to name it.
You get to name it yourself. It's got a bar across it. It is on 10 acres, which is nice. You got 700 feet of riverfront as well.
This is great.
Abuts the river. That's nice. It's not bad. It's kind of ugly inside. There's definitely some shit that needs to be updated, but who gives a shit? $685,000 for that though.
Again, steep.
It's expensive, yeah, but I guess if the outdoor life is your thing and you want to be out here living outdoors, that's not that bad for 10 acres on the river, I guess, Here's a 3-bedroom, 3-bath T-bowl for each and every beehole right here. 3,674 square foot house. Right. It is on, buckle up, 570 acres. That's a fuckload of land. That's too much land. No kidding. You couldn't even get to all that land all the time. What's the point?
I look at Zillow from time to time and out there places, and I've found a few that have several hundred acres.
Like, what am I going to do with
that? I think about how wild that could be, but if something happens on that property, you got to go do it. You got to go fix one.
I'm not going to use all that land. No. What am I fucking building a multi-sports complex out there? Am I going to put a football stadium on it? I don't need that much land.
I'd be confused if I was actually on my property or not.
Yeah, who the hell would know anymore?
Starts or ends.
I don't even know if I'm in America anymore. Where the fuck am I? So I'm out there. This place, 570 acres. It's on a mountainside, too, so you own, the mountain behind you and shit.
Some of your property straight up.
It is, it's interesting. It's not bad as far as a house goes. Inside, it's pretty nice. It's updated. These people are they have a few bucks that live here. You could tell, but there's a bunch of outbuildings. There's a weird, tower thing. You're in the 1800s and you're watching out for the Apache, I think. It's
one of those?
It's what it seems like, but the house isn't that old, so it's maybe was built as a replica of an old house type of thing.
Or maybe that thing is still there and the old house is gone.
That's true, too. I'm not sure. But this house is $1,990,000.
For 500 acres?
570 acres.
Almost 600.
I mean, if you got that kind of money and you're looking for space, it's not a bad deal.
It's the most affordable acreage I've ever heard of.
That's what I mean. That's a shitload here. Things to do in this town. Oh, boy. Let's find out what they have to do in a town of 500 people.
What could you possibly do?
Well, there's the Hondo Fiesta and Enchilada Dinner. Oh, baby.
I'm in. Yeah.
Okay.
I like it.
Join the celebration of the 70th anniversary of this Hondo tradition. Enjoy an evening filled with outstanding performances from fill in the blank, ad-lib here. Or Mad-lib
Tom
this.
and Betty?
Nope. From preschool to 12th grade. Oh, yeah. Gonna burn this bitch down with kids' performances. Can't fucking wait.
Oh, my God.
Featuring dancers in colorful costumes performing Spanish, Mexican, and New Mexican dances.
Yeah.
I don't know what the difference between any three of those would be.
And a whole bunch of hot cross buns on the recorder.
You know that. Don't miss out on the enchilada dinner at the school from 4 p.m. to 5:30. Who the fuck is stuffing their faces with dinner enchiladas at 4 o'clock in the afternoon? How old are these people?
Yeah.
So it's going on. It's $6 for adults, $4 for children, which is hilarious. And then if you just want to see the performances, you don't want any enchiladas, it's $5.
I'm gonna get the fuck out of here. Oh, okay.
$5 to watch 8th grade choir sing. Yeah. Ridiculous. So you have to pay for both. So if you want to eat and then take it all in, it's $11 we're talking about here. So it's a lot. Then there's the Billy the Kid pageant and Old Lincoln Days. which I thought this would be a bunch of people trying to look the most like Billy the Kid. That's what I figured it would be, but it's not. It's just
his name.
They just
named it that.
Yeah, because he's famous, and they don't have much going on here. And the annual folk pageant has reenactors portraying Billy the Kid's last escape, and the notorious Lincoln County War is a regional favorite. Everyone loves it. Okay. There's live music, which they don't tell you what it is, so that must be great. It's a folk pageant with reenactors portraying Billy the Kid's last escape, though. Interesting. This is 83 years they've been doing this, by the way.
Wow. How do they know if it's his last escape? We don't even know if he died.
Here is the pageant part.
Oh, fucking yeah.
These are teenage girls, Jimmy.
They are?
Those are teenage girls dressed up like
no.
Old West, basically prostitutes, I would say.
Yeah. They're definitely.
They're dressed like they're like a mix between Old West prostitute and dancers from Chicago, the musical. That's what they're dressed like.
Or
teenage girls.
Backup dancers for Hell on Heels.
Yeah. And some of them look uncomfortable up there, too. Like, why?
Yeah. Mom, I told
perverts?
you I'm not ready for this dress yet.
And the people behind them are the best. It's a guy in a big cowboy hat and some like long-haired blonde lady. They're sitting at a desk like with pens, like judging them, like marking off.
That one's got some cankles.
It's so weird. There's also the Smokey the Bear Historical Park.
Okay.
All right. During 1944, during World War II, the U.S. Fire Service decided to use a bear to spread the fire prevention message.
He started in World War II?
World War II.
Wow.
It was named after a New York assistant fire chief named Smokey Joe Martin. So they called him Smokey the Bear.
Yeah.
And on May 9th, 1950, in the aftermath of a huge fire in the Capitan Mountains there, a badly burned bear cub was found.
Wow.
So he became the living symbol of fire prevention, Smokey the Bear. There he is.
Yeah.
And then he
fuck
grew
up
up,
nature, animals die.
And he grew up and put a hat on and went out in the forest.
Stomped on cigarettes and judged you.
Pissed
right
on campfires, yeah. So then Smokey got old, though, the bear.
Yeah.
Bears don't live forever. So they were like, shit, he's got to retire. So the people of the town wanted their bear to be returned to his hometown. So upon his death in 1976, I didn't know bears lived that long.
That's a long one.
Smokey was flown home and buried in what is now the Smokey the Bear Historical Park. So you can go visit the grave of a bear, of an actual bear who survived and lived a full life and then died. I don't understand what we're looking at here exactly.
You know, maybe they should show that more often. Like show a fucking burned elk carcass, and maybe some people will start thinking twice about putting their fucking campfire
something
up.
cute. Get something cute. Show it all fucked up. That's what it has to be.
Yeah.
It has to be
show
something cute.
Show a fucking baby something.
Show just like a not even. It doesn't even have to be a woods animal. Just like, look at this puppy. Look at it.
We pulled it out of a house, but we'll just say it was in the woods.
Look at it, goddammit. It's a puppy parmesan now. You've made it into you've cooked it.
Something
destroyed.
like 90% of all forest fires are human caused. And it's like, dude, what the fuck are you doing out there?
You
How
can
dare
avoid
you?
That shit. Yeah,
it's really upsetting to me. I don't know.
It's annoying.
In
it is.
my
It's
heart,
the worst.
I get really mad.
Well, also, you live in a state that's constantly on fire, so I don't blame you.
And
it's always on fire.
The whole southwest of America is always on fire because people are fucking assholes.
Yep.
And that last one, that's this giant fire in California, a dude pushed a flaming car into a gully. I think he was trying to commit insurance fraud or some shit. I don't know that he was trying to start the woods on fire.
He's probably making a fucking YouTube video. This is going to get me followers.
I'm going to get so many likes for this.
Uh-oh.
It's now the 5th largest fire in California history.
Unbelievable.
You got to stop, people. This is fucking absurd.
Fucking ridiculous here. So, by the way, the tower, because this thing has a fire tower, that tower might be to look for fires coming at you from the distance.
I bet you're right.
From the surrounding lands.
Yep.
That's probably what those towers are for. So everybody who tweeted that to us or fucking sent us Instagram messages about that, you can take them back now. We're good. We figured it out. So.
Yeah. There's a few in Arizona. I've driven to them off-road. They're just unattended, I guess. You can just go out there and then climb up in them and see for fucking miles, man. It's unbelievable.
See forever. Crime rate in this town, what we are interested in. Property crime, slightly above average, but not too much, which is wild because everybody's super spread out.
Yeah.
And then violent crime, murder, rape, robbery, and, of course, assault is about the Mount Rushmore of crime.
Yeah.
That's about 20% above the national average.
What is happening out here?
I don't know. I don't know if it's just lawless, if it's still Billy the Kid times, or
just hanging on to that whole culture.
Law don't go around here, law dog. You got like Ike Clanton telling Doc Holliday.
We'll take your horse if we want it.
That's right. So that said, let's talk about some wild, crazy murder here. Mm-hmm. And let's go back to July 2004. I believe it's July 8th, 2004 to be exact. And let's start out with we never start out with something like this. It's always like, let's talk about a person you've never heard of from the middle of nowhere. Well, the first person we're going to talk about today is a very famous person, Sam Donaldson. Let's bring into this.
Who the hell's that?
Sam from the news for 55 fucking years or some shit.
Oh, Jesus.
Good
really?
morning. I'm a plastic fucking mannequin haired. I'm Sam Donaldson.
News guy. Yeah.
News guy. Yeah. Sam fucking Donald. He, by the way, you for mid-century America here in the 20th century, you apparently made a fuckload of money doing news shit because,
dude, these people make so much money.
He's got a ranch that there are houses on the ranch that are 23 miles apart, and he owns all of it.
And he owns the land in between them.
All of it. That's
wow.
Great. Think about how much fucking land that is.
And he's renting to those people, or
no,
they're his homes too.
We'll talk about it. Sam Donaldson owns the whole entire ranch. It's the
Sam
Chavez
Donaldson
Canyon
owns at
Ranch.
least 25 miles of road.
Miles of New Mexico.
New Mexico.
So much of it. It's called the Chavez Canyon Ranch, and it's enormous. There's horses and cattle, and it's it's a whole working ranch, man. So he's got horse guys, cowboys, he's got cattle people, he's got, caretakers, everything you can imagine works here. So he'd been trying to call his house and talk to the caretaker and couldn't get a hold of him. So Sam here decides he's going to take a trip out to the ranch and check it out himself. Yeah. Get the camera crew. We're going to the ranch. And he's
saddle up, Sam.
Get my hair shellac, please.
I must ride my steed.
Check a picture of this guy in a ranch. So he gets there about 4:30 p.m. And immediately sees some stuff that he is not okay with here.
He's been in the news and he sees the worst.
Oh, he sees it. He said on the porch he found a large reddish dry splotch, which was clearly blood, is what he said. Then he found a similar spot on the kitchen floor and blood all over the laundry room as well.
Oh.
So he called the sheriff's office right from there. There's also appeared to be a broken pair of eyeglasses on the porch and multiple blood trails where it looks like someone was dragged and, blood smeared behind them all over the fucking place. This place is just a mess. So
just a bloodbath.
Yeah, he said it was wild. He called the sheriff's office and said, I cannot find my ranch manager, but I found a great deal of congealed blood. This morning on Good Morning America. A great deal of congealed blood, and Dolly Parton will join us in the second hour. So make sure to come here. It's such a fucking real weird. He said he saw all of that. He said, I covered the war in Vietnam. I saw a lot of it there, meaning blood. Yeah. And I walked to the kitchen and immediately saw a red swath that was on the porch from the kitchen floor. So he's looking around.
I'm going to be replaced by Michael Strahan.
Yeah. Someday, a man who led the league in sacks in 2011 will replace me.
He'll have more credibility than a man who covered fucking Vietnam. Jesus.
That's hilarious. Yeah. People just want personality. That's all. Yeah. So he can't find the ranch family. He comes to the house that the ranch family's staying in because they have a little house on the property that they stay on. And he went there because he was trying to get a hold of them to find out some ranch stats or something. Who the hell knows? I don't know.
Run the numbers that
when you own just miles of ranch, I'm not sure exactly what kind of information you need, but I assume there's lots of it.
There's probably some averages we got to know.
Something, at least. How's the weather over there on the east side of the property? Yeah. Well, on the west side, it's this much. On the east side, it's that much. So he can't find any of these people. He calls the police. The cops come in, and they see immediately inside the living room, they see a sofa, and on the sofa there's a big, dark, apparent blood-soaked section of the sofa. I mean, it looks like somebody bled out into the sofa. On the couch there was a pillow and a book near it. There's a pillow there, a book near the pillow, and then
somebody exploded.
Somebody just bled out on there. Yeah. They just their asshole opened up and their insides came out. So they said there was discoloration on the pillow, which was red, that looked like blood. They also found hair fibers and human tissue on the pillow as well. So they're thinking possibly someone was murdered on the pillow and bled out on the couch, obviously. In the living room, there's blood spatters on the west wall and on the south wall as well. Spatter action. So it looked like a body also had been dragged from the living room through the kitchen and then out across the back porch. So it looks like you could see right from the couch someone bled out and they were dragged outside. So they're like, okay, that's not good. They get outside. There's blood all over the kitchen, too, and there's more drag marks. So they get outside, and they see that there are fresh backhoe tracks that are fresher than any of the other tracks on the path.
Yeah.
So just in, walking around, they decide to follow the tracks to see what they find. Maybe that'll lead us somewhere. Yeah. So they also look at the backhoe and see there's blood in the bucket part. They're like, okay. Yeah, let's go ahead and, follow the tracks of this thing. So they follow it, and they find there's some dirt, and it looks like that someone took a few scrapes out of the dirt, but then had given up because there's just some small scrapes, and there's a small pool of blood there as well.
Oh.
So it looks like they gave up. So then they noticed other backhoe tracks that led all the way down to a ravine back, another part of the property that led to a manure pile. A giant shit pile, literally. Yeah. Huge, giant shit pile. If you've seen on a farm or a ranch, they have these huge shit piles. So the cop said he could tell where the front bucket of the backhoe had dug and removed some material from the pile. Because you can see it was smushed up into a bald position there. Hey everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you about the safest sponsor ever, Simply Safe. Absolutely, these people will keep you safe. It's amazing. You know that every 26 seconds a burglary takes place in the United States, according to the FBI. That means that by the time this podcast is over, dozens and dozens of homes will have been targeted, ransacked, God knows what happens here. So protect your home before it's too late with Simply Safe proactive security system. Simply Safe helps stop threats before they even have a chance to break in. Named Best Home Security System by U.S. News and World Report 5 years in a row. And by us for about the last 8 years as well. If you trust us, believe me, you want Simply Safe. So visit simplysafe.com/small to claim 50% off a new system with professional monitoring plan and your first month free. That's simplysafe.com/small. There's no safe like Simply Safe.
Now back to the show.
This show, Small Town Murder, is brought to you by BetterHelp. Get yourself some therapy, everybody. Honestly, here. We often hear about, red flags that you should avoid. Hey, that's a lot of a thing. It's become a real phrase now, real cliche. Yeah. But why don't you focus also, you look at green flags in friends and partners. Look for good things as well. Right. And maybe you're not sure what that looks like, though. Therapy can help you figure that out. What are positive things? What are the green flags? And then you can practice them in your relationship. It's absolutely a fact. And so, honestly, we absolutely are huge advocates for this. It really, really helps. BetterHelp is fully online, making therapy affordable. It's convenient. They serve over 5 million people worldwide. You can access a diverse network of more than 30,000 credentialed therapists, wide ranges of specialties there. Here's the coolest part. You're not getting along with your therapist, you're just not feeling it, you can switch at any time, no extra charge.
Wow.
The thing is, they want you to get help. That's it. And you can do it with BetterHelp. Discover your relationship green flags with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/smalltownmurder today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/smalltownmurder.
Now back to the show.
So he said he circled around the manure pile to a small ravine, and this cop wanted to see the backside of the pile, see if he could see anything. Yeah. He said he made sure not to step on any of the backhoe tracks or anything like that. At this point, when he got around, and this, I don't even know how you would smell this, but he said he smelled the odor of something dead over a pile of a giant ranch's worth of shit. How do you smell anything under that? Honestly.
I mean,
It all smells like shit at this point.
But that stuff crusts over and then it doesn't stink anymore unless it rains or you crack that crust.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I guess so. Seems like that much shit would smell. You know what I mean? Just logically, but I guess there's scientifically it's not quite the same.
I ain't talking about shit, but it's so gross. But like it's so, what animals
we're dealing
eat,
in
though,
shit right now. We have to. It's not our fault.
Right. Yeah. But animals just eat grass and stuff. So when it's turned into shit, it doesn't. It's not like ours.
It
we're
stinks
eating like
though. I've been on a farm. It smells like shit.
It's a different shit though.
I don't know. Shit's shit to me, I think. I'm going to go with shit.
It's all mammal shit.
A grassy... So you're saying a vegetarian human shit is fine?
I think that I would assume that a vegetarian's shit smells entirely different than somebody who eats hot fucking Fritos.
A vegan
Hot
log
Cheetos.
is going to smell different than if you had Jack in the Box 3 times this week.
Yeah, hot fries and Jumbo Jacks and McNuggets, and I think all of that stuff smells different than just grass shit. Or
I would hope so.
Or fucking Brussels sprouts. I don't know. Brussels sprouts shit probably smells bad.
That's Brussels sprouts smell bad.
They smell like shit
before
when you eat
you're
them.
processed through your goddamn system and shot out your asshole. They can't smell good coming out.
Yeah. There's a lot of greens that smell pretty bad before you even turn it into that.
So they look a little farther and they see an aging deer carcass in a nearby ravine.
Oh.
So they're like, okay, but they said the odor was too strong for that level of decomposition of a deer carcass. It was much more of a strong. If there was 8 deer, maybe, but not one deer sitting over there.
Yeah, dried out carcass doesn't smell near as bad as a wet one.
No, I live in the woods. A deer will die once in a while, and you go, "Oh shit, something died in here." It's a deer, obviously died, and then a week later, it's
gone.
Gone. That's how it works. Because animals eat at it, and take the meat and all that kind of thing. So the sergeant here moves closer to the manure pile. Mm-hmm. That's something he didn't want to be in his job description coming out. Probably he's like, I want to get a job where I have to move closer to manure piles if I see them.
Things. Oh God, things to involve in your murder.
So he saw several groups of flies. I assume this would be all flies. Shit. It's a pile of flies to shit. You ever heard that?
That's where they go first.
That's where they go first. They saw a group of flies hovering around one particular area in a more concentrated batch. Yeah. So they landed on a spot where the odor was the strongest. That happened to be where the flies were. Yeah. So the sergeant found a 2-foot-long stick and started scraping some manure away from the pile.
God.
He barely got any of it off when he saw a blood-soaked shirt in the manure pile and what appeared to be a person's arm in the shirt.
Golly.
Put the stick down and said, oh, okay, calling this one in.
I found all I need to find.
That's it. If there's an arm under the shit, that person's not there voluntarily. There's a problem. He calls it in, and we'll find out what happens there because it's a goddamn mess. Well, let's find out about the family who lived in this house and figure out what's going on here. Yeah. Let's first talk about Delbert Paul Posey, Posey, Posey. Delbert Paul, he goes by Paul for most people here, but I like calling him Delbert for some reason, just because we don't get a lot of Delberts very often. Yeah. So old Delbert's born in 1970, and here he back in the day, he got married in the mid-'80s, late 80s, I'm sorry, like 88, right after he turned 18, and he married a woman named Carla Brust, is what she'll be later here. Now, Carla, they're going to have a baby almost right away in 1989, Delbert and Carla, and they're going to have little Cody Austin Posey. They have. Yeah. He's born.
He's going to hate Ring Around the Rosie.
Oh, he's going to absolutely hate it. A Cody and a Posey. October 9th, 1989, he's born here. Now, pretty much right away, beginning of 1990, Carla and Delbert split up, or late 1990. Okay. So Cody was about 11 months old when they split up.
Oh, no.
So he and his mother go to live with his aunt, his mom's sister.
Sure.
And the Poseys will formally divorce in January of 1992.
Wow.
And they're going to share custody of Cody. They're going to have equal custody, the two of them. Okay. So they're going to fight a lot over shit, is what that means.
You're going to do a lot of disagreeing for the next 18 years.
For a lot of years. Now, Delbert Paul here is not known as a real nice guy to basically anybody. Nobody thinks he's a nice guy.
You think maybe he's the problem in the relationship?
A little bit. Well, the multiple relationships, as we'll talk about. Now, Jim Forrester is a guy who did some work. At one point, he put a new heater in the house for Paul, Delbert Paul here. Cody was just a baby in diapers. So they're still together. So this is, they're probably 10 months old or 11 months old or something. And Jim Forrester is his name. He says about Delbert Paul here, he was real mean on his family. Then he says he's in there putting the new heater in, and Cody was a baby, and Paul told him to move aside. And because he was a baby, he didn't understand to move aside. Just doesn't. Babies don't follow instructions real well. They just don't. It's why they don't have jobs most of the time. So this Forrester said, all of a sudden, Paul just leaped and whipped his belt off and grabbed that kid by the arm and just went to warping him down across the head and ears and face and neck and back.
Hit a baby in the fucking head?
In the head whipped a baby in the head with a belt.
Wow.
He said the kid was just screaming, bloody murder, big wide cowboy belt. He took off his fucking big ranch
thick
belt
leather
buckle
belt.
and beat a baby with it.
My Christ.
So that's insane. Now this
guy got a divorce?
Weird. Well, and the mom was there.
Oh my
Carol
God.
was there. She pulled Cody away from him, and a short time later is when they broke up. So this was, I think, this is the reason they broke up.
Probably the start of it. Yeah.
Beating the baby. So they left. Now, in 1994, his mom's going to join the Navy. We'll talk about that. 1992 is the official divorce. 1994, Carol joins the Navy.
Really?
Yeah, I got a kid going on. I got all this. I know what I'll do. I'm joining the Navy, which is the last thing you'd expect. You going back to school? No, I'm joining the Navy. Oh, okay. She's still only in her late 20s though, or mid 20s, 26 or something. So 1995 here, this is Delbert Paul's parents, Jay and Linda Posey. They are shot to death at their ranch just outside of Roswell, which isn't far from here. Wow. And what the authorities characterized as a murder-suicide. So, yeah, so that happened. So this family has some dark shit going over it. Yeah. And dad and mom having a murder-suicide is starting to explain old Delbert Paul's behavior a little bit.
Yeah. Probably grew up in a tumultuous household.
I would say so. Getting beat with cowboy belts would be my guess.
It's rarely wooing and romance when it ends in that. It's not romance for 30 years, and then he's like, you know what? What a waste.
Once the kids moved out, forget about it. They fell apart. Before that, everything was great, though. They went to Disneyland every year. It was wonderful. So 1998, Delbert Paul gets remarried here. Delbert Paul Posey. He remarries a woman named Sandy. And now Sandy, they have a very good relationship here. Her name, Sandy, she testifies that she would protect Cody from his father later on and during their marriage. She also says that she saw Paul constantly, quote, surfing pornography on the internet.
I mean, his initials are DP, James.
That's DPP.
Good Christ.
Double penis penetration is what she's got. So, yeah, they're getting that. And she said, and this is, they break up in 98. So he's looking at early internet porn. Yeah.
Early porn. That's just pixels of pictures.
Dude, you had to be really horny to figure out porn by before 98. You had to really be like, I want to see some tits now. Bad. And they better be doing some gross shit. Hell yeah. So she said she didn't like that at all. And they end up getting a divorce because she doesn't like the dynamic in the house. Right. And also she is worried she doesn't like the way he treats his son.
Yeah.
So, she doesn't want to exactly have more kids with this fucking guy.
Sure.
So Sandy, the stepmom, really loved Cody, and she said she cared for him as if he were her own. She would throw birthday parties for him and have friends over and stuff. But she said that she had to keep Paul from hitting Cody, or else Paul would be beating the shit out of Cody constantly. She said he would yank him out of the bed. we're talking between ages 5 and 9, okay? So, quote, he would yank him out of the bed, the bunk bed on top, yank him onto the floor. And they said, just pull him on the floor. And she said, yes, yes, yes. Just slam him down on the floor. Just yank his ass right out of the top bunk bed to the floor. She said one time she came home from work and walked in on Paul beating the shit out of Cody with a board, with a piece of wood, like he's Hacksaw Jim Duggan with his fucking kid.
Yeah.
She said, I said, Paul, that's enough. And then he stopped. So she saved this kid, for Christ's sake. They end up getting divorced in 1998, unsurprisingly.
That's not hot.
You don't want to suck that guy's dick after you watch him beat a 7-year-old with a 2x4? That's weird.
Wow.
So he ends up, though, this guy does not like to be alone. He ends up finding another woman very quickly and getting married that same year in 98.
It must be he must give off like a masculine energy, right?
Oh, yeah, he's a cowboy. He runs a ranch. I mean, he's got a big belt buckle and he's got a real masculine swagger. Yeah, he's got all that shit. So if you're turned on by that,
sure,
this is your guy. Problem is, too much swagger, you also beat the shit out of your kids. That's
you gotta temper the swagger.
Yeah, but he doesn't beat up any of the women, which is weird. He never beats his wife. The only person he beats the shit out of is his little boy. That's it. No one else.
He's trying to make Cody tough, I think.
I think that's what he's thinking, but it's like later on the shit he's doing is not for toughness, as we'll talk about.
I mean, 2x4, any piece of wood, that's not.
You're a grown man. You don't need a piece of wood.
No.
Use your fucking hand if you're going to beat a kid. Open hand. That's what are you doing? Not that you should beat a kid, but
right.
I mean, if you're saying you're determined to beat the shit out of your kid, please don't use weapons. Is all I'm asking.
Right.
It's bad enough if you use your hands.
I mean, I got beaten, and
I grew up at my fucking grandmother's house. She beat me with implements.
Yeah, I got beaten harder because I quote unquote made their hand hurt, and so because I fucked up and made them beat me, I got beat harder because their hand hurt.
I didn't have to worry about that because it doesn't hurt a slipper or a shoe or a fucking metal spoon to be fucking. Doesn't hurt the person using it to beat you with it. So.
Or they go, this hurts me more than it hurts you. I highly doubt it. Show me the welts on you, motherfucker.
Nah, that's the thing. You get foreigners, they don't play that shit. They don't care. They want you to hurt. They go, "My, you son of a bitch," as they beat you and then tell you that's what you get. Yeah. It's a different. They're not upset. They're not like, I don't want to have to do this. None of that shit.
Cold shit. This doesn't even hurt me.
It doesn't hurt me at all. I'm cool. Wow. So the woman this guy marries, Paul, her name is, and it's so weird. When you look at her name, Allison, who helps with our research a lot, she even said, how is this woman named Tyrone? She's like
that's
a
her
red
first name?
She's like no, that's not her name, but she's like a red-headed, very white New Mexico ranch lady. And she's like, how the fuck is her name Tyrone? It's not. It's so easy to misread because your brain doesn't see this as a word. Her name is Tryone.
Try one?
Try one. Sure. That's why I said it. Tryone, I guess they might call her. I'd call her Try one.
Try one.
Yep. So I said, I was like, try. When I read, I was like, try one. So I looked up another source. I'm like, it's Try one. That's her fucking name. So Tryone Try one, we'll call her here. Yeah. She is about 10 years older, by the way, than Paul.
Really?
Yeah, he likes older ladies, as we'll talk about.
Okay.
He's about 10 years older, or she's about 10 years older. She has a daughter as well that she brings into this relationship that's 1 year younger than Cody.
Okay.
So might be nice for Cody to have someone around his own age, at least to have around, maybe to talk about beatings with or something. I don't know.
Maybe she can explain what he's done wrong.
Maybe. The daughter's name is Mary Lee, which is Marilea. Yeah. Mary Lee. Mary Lee Schmidt. Nobody likes to spell.
Yeah. That A makes Marilea.
Yeah. Marilea Schmidt. And she, so try one and Marilea here.
Okay.
Wow. Now, 1998, during this time, I think this is when in between the two wives, I believe. I think it's 97 here. A complaint is filed with the Chavez County Sheriff's Department because Cody came home. His mom was home on leave and saw him and saw he was covered in bruises.
Ah, fuck.
So she called the cops. And they took pictures and they did a hospital exam, but no charges are ever filed. No, nothing ever comes of it. Just pictures are taken. It's on file.
I mean, I guess you can't really assert who did it. And I mean, Cody could say, but
yeah. Well, he's only with his dad. I mean, who else is going to beat the shit out of him? Or, you know,
Dad could say somebody did it at school. I don't know.
Something he fell down. He's a boy. He plays rough. He fell off a horse. You work
on a fucking ranch.
We work on ranches. They don't work on the Sam Donaldson ranch quite yet. They're doing other shit now. But by April of 2000, Cody's mother makes an agreement in court. They come to a fucking little sit down pact where they come to an agreement where she has full custody of Cody.
Okay.
And Delbert Paul here gives up all parental rights. He basically said, I want nothing to do with this child anymore. You can have him. All parental rights. Yeah. She doesn't have to take him to see him anymore. Yeah. He never has to see his father ever again, basically.
Yeah. I mean, that, as if beating your child doesn't fuck them up enough, beat them and then throw them away.
I don't want anything to do with it.
Poor Cody, man.
He was happy because he wasn't liable for child support under this agreement. It was basically,
is that right?
He cuts all ties, and she doesn't have to take him to visit him, and then he doesn't have to pay child support for Cody. That's how it works. So it's just like you never existed as his father, basically.
Wow.
All he has to remember you by is pictures of bruises. That's it. So
Jesus.
Yeah. So he and Cody, from what I understand, is thrilled with this arrangement.
I can't imagine.
Fucking over the moon happy. Never been happier.
Lick his wounds in a fucking bunk bed anymore?
Nope. That's April 2000, mid-April 2000. Now, July 13th, 2000, just a few short months later, some tragedy strikes here.
Oh, no.
His mom, Carla, is only 30, okay? And she is in the car with Cody and her new husband, Russell. Russell Brust is his name, B-R-U-S-T. They're all in the car. They're headed to Washington, where Brust was stationed with the Navy, because they're both parents, both of these two are in the Navy. So they're heading there, they're moving there. This is fucked up. Russell is driving, Cody's in the front seat, mom's in the back.
Oh.
Russell falls asleep at the wheel.
Oh, Russ.
Okay. The pickup, mom apparently was in the back of the pickup truck. It's a pickup truck.
Maybe it's an extended cab?
From when I tell you what happened, you're not going to think so. Okay. That's why I thought that at first, too. But I'm like, I think she's in the back of the fucking truck. He fell asleep. The pickup truck flipped and threw Carla a good distance from the vehicle.
It's possible.
The other two were in the car still. So I don't know how that little fucking side door would open and she'd fly out.
It could be a four-door truck.
Yeah, that's true.
The window down, if she's laid down in the backseat, it could fling you.
That was 99, though. 2000. Those, that's.
I had one.
I had the one where you had to open the fucking regular door to get the.
Yeah, we had a four-door. Yeah.
I don't know. So either way, I don't know why only the back door would open. Whatever the thing is.
If the window's down, you can get thrown right the fuck out of there.
I guess, you know what I mean?
Yeah. But she may have been in the back.
She's thrown out of the car. Mm-hmm. Cody apparently rushes over to her just in time to watch her die.
Oh, Jesus fucking hell.
To watch his mom die before his eyes, which is, that's how Dexter started. You know what I'm saying? This is not a good thing to watch somebody die, your mom die in front of your eyes, but especially that's your lifeline, away from all the crazy.
Is Russ Bruss okay?
No, he's dead too.
Oh my God, this kid.
Yeah.
That's how Batman started too, though. So.
This is fucked up. Yeah, it could go either way.
Yeah.
So he's fucking 10. This is crazy. So the fucked up part is he goes with his aunt now for a little bit. His aunt, his mom's sister that they had moved in with originally back then. He blames himself for it, Cody.
Really? Why?
This is the aunt. Quote, he looked at me and said, I killed my mom.
That's dark, man.
I killed my mom. I definitely want more explained further.
Yeah. How do you interpret that as doing, unless he walked up on mom not breathing and then just stomped her head to put her out of her misery.
He saw her and he was like, oh, poor thing. And then he covered her mouth and pinched her nose. I don't know. No. He went on to say, quote, I wanted to sit in front with my new dad, and that's why she's dead.
Oh, Oh, Jesus, I'm going to cry.
Let's break down.
Are you fucking kidding me?
What the most heartbreaking part of this is. I killed my mom. I wanted to sit in front with my new dad, and that's why she said, what's more heartbreaking? The mom's dead, I feel guilty, or I just wanted to sit in front with my new dad. Oh, my God. My heart is...
Oh, broken.
Dude, that's horrible.
Have we ever read a...
No, I think that's the worst.
Has there ever been a more fucking heartbreaking
sentence? No, because we've never had a 10-year-old say any shit like that before. I killed my mom because I wanted to sit in front with my new dad who doesn't beat me. Isn't that great?
The one that doesn't beat the shit out of me with pieces of wood.
Oh, my God, and that's why she's dead.
Oh, my God, Cody.
So now he's got, obviously, a history of some serious trauma going on of being beaten from the time he's an infant. And now you add to that a Batman Dexter level of backstory to his parents.
A Catholic level of guilt multiplied by 100. Good
It's Catholicism times Batman divided by Dexter equals Cody. That's what we have now.
Poor fucker, man.
Poor kid. So his mom's funeral comes around a few days later. This is fucking horrible. And fucking Paul, dad, shows up at the funeral, completely uninvited, obviously, with a police officer with him to take possession of his son. Even though he had agreed to no parental rights, the state recognizes he was his dad more than it recognizes this lady's his aunt, and they say that he has to go with his dad.
Who told him? God damn it.
That's fucked up. So after that, the aunt said she had virtually no contact with Cody because Paul wouldn't let him talk to her or her family, and Cody had a lot of restrictions on him. Letters from family members to Cody were returned. They just returned them. Return to sender. The aunt said it was control. Paul referred to him as his property. He said, "I own Cody. He's mine," quote unquote.
Good Lord.
He said that at the funeral service, by the way, with a bunch of mourning, and a kid mourning his dead mother who he thinks he killed. He said, he's my property. So she said that Paul wouldn't let Cody play with toys that the aunt would send him for like Christmas or anything, and would not permit him to keep gifts of clothing because they'd send him clothes and stuff. They were trying to just keep connected to him. The aunt said, quote, "He told me one time he didn't," this is about Paul. "He told me one time he didn't care if Cody hated him. He was going to make him respect the world he was going to be released into someday." Now, okay, that if someone said that and didn't beat the shit out of their kids and abuse them, you'd go, okay, well, that's, I guess that's okay. You don't want your kids to hate you, but to say, look, I don't care if you don't like me, I have to raise you properly that's what you say to a kid who doesn't want to be raised properly. I get that.
Respect the world or loathe the world? That's
the problem. Is it what's he going to respect, hate, and released into someday? Sounds like he's coming out like a
cut the lock and kick him out.
Yeah, like a bull getting released into the ring to fucking go after people or some shit. It's really weird.
Cody on shoot 3.
Man, now and Cody, when Dad showed up at the funeral to get him, Cody was really upset. He didn't want it, and this is a cousin said he was upset from the funeral itself. Then it turned from a sad upset to a mad upset.
Yeah.
She said, quote, meaning Cody, "He kept telling us, 'Don't let him take me. Don't let him take me. He beats me.'"
How does the cop?
Thank you. In front of the cop, the kid's beg, and the father's going, "Oh, he's just being a little pussy." Blah blah blah. And the cop's like, "Yeah, that's how kids are," and they fucking take the kid away.
He beats me.
He beats me. Beats me. And as we'll talk when we hear some more Sam Donaldson quotes later on, a lot of this is because of where in the country this is. That's considered just good down home parenting down there, apparently.
Boy.
Yeah, it's a little interesting. I mean, yes, discipline is one thing. Beating your kid to the point of fucking bruising, that's crazy. It's fucking crazy. So the aunt here, she talks about the next few years, like we said, of not being able to really stay in contact with Cody and all that kind of thing. She said she mostly lost contact with him after 2000, and said that Cody would had occasionally complained that his father beat him and yelled at him and verbally abused him, called him names and all this shit. So she was sad. Now, 2001 is when Sam Donaldson hires Paul to be the ranch caretaker. Okay, so they move out to the Chavez ranch there then. They all move out there, and this is the four of them. This is Try-One, Paul, Mary Leah, and Cody. They're all coming here. And they said that basically everyone around there figured out that Cody wasn't allowed to socialize really with other kids.
Yeah.
Wasn't allowed to do anything. He's like Jeremy from the Pearl Jam video. He's like a fucking... most of the year before moving here, he said his parents made him spend most of his days after school in his bedroom. Wasn't allowed to do anything. Now, the layout of the ranch, like we said here, Sam Donaldson told everybody about it and said that Paul was the foreman of 3 ranches located on the property, which were as far as 23 miles apart in some places, like we said.
Christ.
Huge property. So 2004, okay, 4 years have gone by since his mom died, 3 years since they've been living on the ranch, and things are not going well. Now, Cody is just finishing, he's 14 years old. Yeah. He's not quite yet, but he will be. Or no, he's 14 now. He'll be 15 later this year. He just finished the 8th grade at Capitan Municipal School District. And how's he been doing? I mean, obviously.
Oh, yeah.
So one of his teachers for 3 years, Roman La Riva, he said that Cody was the top science student in the 6th grade.
Is that right?
He's not a dummy at all, Cody.
Smart
no.
Kid.
They said, while being very bright, he said he was also, quote, full of energy. Which is not a compliment to a child. He said he was rambunctious, but never anything mean. He just had a lot of energy.
Okay.
I mean, that's normal. Yeah. As long as you're doing your work, I mean, whatever. Yeah. The teacher said he never saw physical abuse, but parent-teacher conferences, he said it became very obvious to him that Cody's parents were constantly coming down on him, as he put it.
Yeah. Sounds like when he goes to school, he thrives there because his parents aren't there.
Because his dad isn't there. That's exactly it. He said even in spite of good grades, they would always find something else. They'd come in for a conference, and the teacher would be like, no, he's doing great, blah, 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 and they would find something to yell at him for right there in front of the teacher. He said that Posey, meaning Cody, was interested in sports and also wanted to do a bunch of academic competitions.
Yeah.
Probably just to get him out of the house, extracurriculars. That's what a lot of kids do.
Yeah.
A lot of kids just lean into sports and shit because home sucks.
So, home.
Yeah. He said that his parents wouldn't allow him to compete in sports or even academic competitions.
Unbelievable.
And the teacher said, why not? He's really smart. And they said, because he's not towing the line.
He's not doing whatever.
He's 14.
Ridiculous.
Yeah. What's he not doing? He's not contributing enough to his 401k? Like, what the fuck do you need to do when you're 14 to toe the line? That's weird. So this teacher said that he used to tell Posey's parents, meaning Paul and Try-One, during conferences about his in-class disruptions, but he said, I quit saying anything because I didn't want to burn him anymore. He stopped telling the parents because he said they come down way too. He wants the parents to go, hey, try to calm down in class, not wait till we get home. Like, that's not what you want to hear. It's crazy. We find out that they're much nicer to the daughter. They treat her completely different.
What the fuck, man?
Completely different. A resident around here named Emily Nutt. Emily Nutt here. That's the Sunday school teacher when they lived before they moved to the ranch. So this is pre-2001. Said that Paul and Try-One would single Cody out for criticism, but treated the daughter very warmly. She said they were always loving on her, touching her, hugging her, telling her how smart she was, how beautiful. They never said anything kind to him or even that he was doing well. Like, these teachers would say they would tell the parents good things about Cody on purpose to try to get them to say something nice to him, and they could, no matter what you said. You could say he cured cancer, and they'd be like, well, he didn't fucking take in the horse shit over to the manure pile. So... Hey, everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you a little bit about Sono Bello. You know, the most known secret with celebrities and influencers and all these famous people is so many of them have had lipo. They've had lipo, whether it's a little touch-up here or a total makeover.
Yeah.
Nobody has a perfect body. That's the thing.
No.
They may look like it on TV, but there's things that help that. Absolutely. Lipo now has changed, and Sono Bello's been at the forefront with using LAL technology and getting those beautiful and natural outcomes for each person. Looking real natural. Our friends at Sonobello are offering their best deal. You're now included in their winter savings event, but appointments are limited, so please get on this. Sonobello doctors are masters in micro-laser fat removal, a brilliant technique that removes stubborn fat permanently. Wherever your problem areas are, tummy, love handles, thighs, arms, it's gone in one comfortable visit. Eating healthy and workouts are great. Keep doing that, but if you want to lose that stubborn fat in one visit, check out Sonobello. Save big during their winter savings event. Schedule your free consultation now at sonobello.com/smalltownmurder. That's SONOBELLO.com/smalltownmurder.
Now back to the show.
Hey everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you a little bit more about our stylish friends at Quince. That's right, let's go elevate your styles, people. Yeah. Get it going, look good out there, and you can do it now without breaking your wallet, without breaking the bank, because at Quince, you can get high-end, versatile pieces at prices we can all actually afford, which is very nice. You want to get good stuff that lasts and it's good, and they have quality stuff that's very affordable, and you can do like we did, upgrading our stuff here, while still being a very reasonable price. Quince only works with factories that use safe, ethical, responsible manufacturing practices, along with premium fabrics and finishes. It's all quality stuff. You're going to love it. Trust us, it looks good. And I've got the leather jacket. It's a very high-quality item. Real nice, soft leather. Yeah. Jimmie's got his linen pants he's rocking.
Yeah. They're terrific.
Come on, be like us. Be fashionable. Get in there with Quince. Indulge in affordable luxury. Go to quince.com/smalltownmurder for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. That's QUINCE.com/smalltownmurder to get free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/smalltownmurder.
Now back to the show.
Hey everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you a little bit about a very cool place, Thrive Market. Yes, we are both looking to get into the healthy swing this year. The problem is I don't know what's in everything, and I don't know if even I'm qualified to even read the labels to know if that's good or that's bad. Right. There's chemicals in things, and there's things floating around. I don't know what I'm doing out there. One of my favorite features, and I know you were talking to me about this, is the Healthy Swap Scanner in the Thrive Market app. Yeah, it's simple. You scan any item, and it'll instantly suggest a cleaner, healthier grocery alternative, which is
it's great.
Amazing. Yeah. That's great. Thrive Market also takes the guesswork out of finding these safe, healthy foods. For example, like I'm trying to get my protein intake up for energy. I'm always moving around. I need stuff, and I love that you can filter their site by the high protein options.
Nice.
It's very cool, and you can personalize this portion, and you can put filters on it, and get ready. You should be ready for a junk-free start to 2025. Get ready for it and head to thrivemarket.com/smalltownmurder and get 30% off your first order plus a free $60 gift. That's THRIVE market.com/smalltownmurder, thrivemarket.com/smalltownmurder.
Now back to the show.
It's fucking crazy. She said that Cody excelled in Bible-based competitions like memorizing scriptural passages and the locations of books in the Bible, which he's just a good student, it sounds like. He's really good. But Paul would not allow Cody to participate in state Bible competitions, even though they were into church. She said, how does allowing a bad boy to compete in the state Bible competition glorify God? He said that's what Paul asked her. How does allowing a bad kid do this glorify God? He's an embarrassment to God, is what he told this teacher, which is fucking crazy. That's wild. So let's talk about Cowboy now. Yeah. I didn't even have to tell you he was a cowboy.
A person?
No. His name is Slim Britton. Britton. Slim Britton over here is his name. He's a cowboy who works on the ranch, obviously.
Okay, yeah.
Slim. Now, Slim, he worked on the Donaldson Ranch in 2004.
That's a real first name?
It's a real name. I don't think it's his real first name, but that's how anyone knows him as.
Slim.
Even in court, he's called up as Slim Britton.
It's got to be his legal name then.
I think he changed it maybe to that or something. Or it's New Mexico, and they're like, everyone calls him Slim. We calling him Slim. Like, I don't know.
They're beating children with sticks, James. This is his name.
This could be his name. So he said, and he's an older guy too. So this is an old cowboy. So you'd expect discipline to be right up this guy's alley, and he wouldn't bat an eye at it. But he said he saw Paul throw a heavy rock at Cody one time, saw him wrap the boy's hands with a hay hook for not stacking bales of hay fast enough.
Whacked him with a hay hook.
A hook. I mean, in his hand, not on the side. Hooked him in the hand.
Oh, my God.
And through the thick glove, it didn't go through, but it left deep, giant bruises and, hurt him really bad here. He said that was for not stacking bales of hay fast enough.
Wow.
How fast can a 12-year-old stack hay, really? You know what I mean?
Those shits are so heavy, man.
He said he would slap the boy with a glove, like take his glove off and slap him with it, and also just manhandle him when he didn't answer his father with a sir. If he didn't answer with sir, he would go over and beat the shit out of him for it.
What is this, fucking Simon Says? Jesus.
It's not the Marine Corps. This isn't Full Metal Jacket. This is a 12-year-old. It's different.
Removing animal food, you son of a bitch.
So Slim said Cody carries a lot of weight for a kid. He was called on to do a man's job. He just was supposed to be a full-time ranch hand and do the same job they did. Meanwhile, he goes to school during the day, and he's a young preteen, for Christ's sake. So he said, though, they said, well, how come nobody said anything? And Slim said the West is kind of tight-lipped about things like that. You're allowed to beat your kids out here on the ranch.
Tell your friend he's a dick.
Yeah, why are you beating your kid? Especially you're a cowboy. Be like,
right.
I will fucking
Slim.
I will fucking beat your ass with my belt buckle if you don't stop this shit.
Touch that kid again, and we're gonna fight.
But I guess Slim works for Paul. Paul's technically his boss. He hired him, so that's probably part of it. But still, I'm not going to stay at a job and watch a kid get beaten all the time. That's not part of my job. I'm not doing that. That's crazy. So he said that he said he didn't see everything that happened on the ranch, but he said that, he did see Paul being cruel and angry and abusing his son. He called Cody obedient and battered. He said this is fucked up too. He said he rides up to him and hits him, whack with the rope, just right in the back. You're out of the drive, whack, right across the back. And they said, this is with a coiled rope? And he said, yeah, coiled rope. Ouch. He's beating him with it, which hurts. That's not good. Yeah. Now, Slim was fired a few months before July of this year, before all the shit went down with Sam Donaldson finding blood. But he says he saw trouble between father and son almost every day, always excessively harsh words that you shouldn't say to kids, but also beatings often. He said, I never saw a hand laid on him in love. And they said, never even an arm around the shoulder. He said, never once. It's all bad and mean and, yeah. One of the other ranch hands, a guy named Pilo Vasquez, testified about another incident later on with a hay hook in which Paul threatened to cut off his son's balls if he popped the clutch while driving the ranch pickup truck again.
I'll castrate you for
pop. He was like 13 at the time,
Shouldn't
too.
even be driving.
How good were you with 3 on the tree when you were 13, Jimmie?
Not
good
so
on that
great.
clutch or what? No? I don't think I would have been that great either. I remembered.
My finesse of the clutch was...
it took a while to master.
Yeah, it was not so good.
No, he said he will cut his balls off if he pops the clutch again. That's...
Wow.
What the fuck is wrong with you? Rather than going, let me teach you how to do that better.
Slap me back in the seat one more time. I'm going to slap you and then cut your balls off.
And the fucked up part is we find out that the sister apparently was in on this too. All this shit.
She's hitting too?
Not hitting, but the sister apparently was asked to keep an eye on Cody and report back
She's snitching.
She's snitching. Report back any transgressions that Cody does to the parents, and then she would get gifts for that.
Wow.
She'd get rewards for telling on Cody for anything, and it would be anything, not Cody's out there raping a cowboy or something. Right. It was
he's popping the clutch,
something mild. Yeah, he would do that. She'd be rewarded and given gifts and all that kind of shit. So that's who we're dealing with. This is the family. When Sam Donaldson walks into the ranch and sees blood everywhere, this is the family he's looking for.
Employing.
So back to July 8th. Let's go back where we started now. in our little Pulp Fiction adventure here, and to Sam Donaldson calling the cops. He said he couldn't reach his Paul Posey by phone, so he and his wife drove out to the ranch. Donaldson entered the ranch to discover all the blood, like we said, and he immediately called a friend and law enforcement to come over and check it out. Yeah. So the deputy sees the blood trails, the broken eyeglasses, follows them out, backhoe, like we said, bodies out in the manure. Now, Sheriff Tom Sullivan said the blood on the porch, blood in the kitchen, blood in the living room, and blood smears in the kitchen, and blood chunks of hair on the porch.
Oh, boy.
Oh, Jesus, that
somebody's head.
Someone's got a piece of their head missing, is what that says. It was a crime scene, a violent crime scene, obviously. And they said, were you thinking that the whole family had been lost? And he said, well, we didn't know. We didn't know how many people even lived there, the sheriff said. We had no fucking idea who we were looking for. We just were like, holy fuck. More than one person is dead from all this blood.
It's too much blood, yeah.
So this is now 4:30, goes into the evening time. It's nighttime, so they bring in like shitloads of lights and everything and all this type of thing, and they're working through the night. And that's when they found the backhoe tracks, followed them, went down from the house around some bluffs to an area with the compost pile, and the sheriff said manure pile. And so he just happened to notice there was a lot of flies buzzing around one spot. When we went up there with a stick and just kind of moved some things, we moved some of the dirt around, moved some of the manure around, and you could see the back of somebody's belt and a pair of Levi's and a shirt with an arm.
Yep.
So they also found what appeared to be blood in the bucket of the backhoe, they said, and had all the backhoe tracks. So there's a lot going on here. Now, they check out all the other rooms and for signs of, trauma and struggle, anything. Mm-hmm. And they do find not much, but there's nothing else in the other rooms. But they find in one room there's a computer desk, and there's an open notebook there next to the keyboard. And the note written on it says, "Sorry, coppers, needed the kid to do the dirty work." That's what it said on it. Don't know what that means. Sorry, coppers, needed the kid to do the dirty work, is what it says on there. Okay. Now, the manure pile, back to this. We'll get into some details here. They did a walkthrough, like we said, of the house, and they noticed the blood and the disarray of the house. Then they dug through the manure pile to recover the bodies. Trying to find out how many are even in there. They know of one. As they start their search, they notice the arm and the upper torso of they notice an arm of one victim and the upper torso of another. So they go, okay, there's at least two. As the manure was stripped away, they reported the victims were dumped in there in an erratic commingling. Okay. So probably all three of them were in there, were all just dumped in there at once and then covered up. There was no
rolled onto each other.
Nobody lined them up or anything like that. So they said in all there was 3 bodies within the manure pile. On top was Paul Posey, which I'm not real depressed about. I've got to be honest with you.
He was probably on the bottom.
In the middle is Marilia, the daughter. She's there too. And on the bottom is Try-One.
Wow.
She's down there. Their limbs were intertwined in a blanket, they said. Marilia's left cowboy boot had been removed, and it was on top of her body. So it probably fell off, and they just threw it in there. A driver's license and the wallet of the jeans identified Paul Posey as Paul. The bodies are removed, put in body bags, and sealed up, and all that kind of shit here, because they're taken to the nearest place where you can perform an autopsy for something like this is in Albuquerque, which we told you is hours away from here.
3 hours away.
3 hours away. So the autopsies here. Let's find out what happened to these people. First is Try-One. Here, let's talk. By the way, this is a fucking weird thing. They didn't take them like in an ambulance or a thing. They had a transport company whose job it is to transport corpses.
Cold truck?
Yeah, their job is to pick up a corpse and transport it. Which in this area where it's rural, I guess that would be a lucrative business. Probably happens a lot. Yeah. So they bring them to a storage facility in Albuquerque. I don't know if it's just like a self-storage. I don't know what kind of lock you use for that, but
this is air conditioned out front. I guarantee that.
I know it does. So the doctor begins the autopsy by examining the clothing and items found with Try-One. She had a blue shirt, blue jeans, braided belt, and brown boots. ranch
Cowgirl,
gear,
yeah.
ranch wear. Yeah. Her shirt had been pulled up over her breasts, but they don't think it was in any sexual manner. They think it was just from the dragging is how it went. Because her shirt was out, so it pulled up. That happens all the time.
Somebody grabbed the boots. Yeah.
Someone pulled her by the legs, exactly. Other items that arrived with her body were a white metal ring with stones and eyeglasses with one lens missing. Okay. Those are the ones I think they found. Now, the examination observed some decomposition because it's like 100-something degrees outside. It's mid-July in southern New Mexico.
Oh, God.
And they've been out there for a few days, as we'll talk about, in a manure pile. Some decomposition where tissue had softened and there was discoloration as well. The doctor said it was hard for him to tell what she had looked like when she was alive because of the decomp and the gunshot wounds.
Oh, my God. Her skin's already tight and going away.
Especially because she was shot, as we'll talk about, in the head, which makes everything be able to get in there and eat everything more efficiently. The doctor made some incisions, removed the internal organs and all that kind of shit here. He was trying to see if he could remove the brain to try to see if he could track the gunshot wounds and see what structures had been damaged. Yeah. One bullet entered her forehead near the right eye.
A bullet, so an actual gun, not a shotgun.
Not a shotgun, a bullet, and fractured, they think it's a 38, by the way.
Okay.
And fractured the back of the skull where it lodged. So all the way through and then cracked the back of the skull, but it didn't come out. It wasn't a through and through.
Wow.
It stopped. The second gunshot wound was on the right side of the head in the temple, and there were pellets from snake shot or handgun pellet ammunition in that area as well.
Interesting.
Weird. So, because they're like, one of the shots isn't snake shot, and one of them snake shot. So they're like, that's interesting.
Sometimes you stagger those.
Yeah, well, we'll find out exactly why. We'll get an explanation on that, luckily, because otherwise it'd be like, why? Because of the decomposition, the doctor couldn't tell the true path of the gunshot wound within the head. The size of the entry wound near the eyebrow was determined to be about 1/2 inch in dimension. The right temple wound was about 2 1/4 inches in size, and he removed 34 small pellets from the wounded area. From the right temple.
Yeah.
When he removed the bullet from the back of the skull, it was still in one piece. So we know that's a slug.
Right.
It's interesting. So now they're wondering, 2 guns, 2 people, what's the deal here? So now here's Paul. His body was in a similar state of decomp, they said, as his wife. He wore a blue and white button-down shirt, jeans with a ripped-back pocket, hearing aids, and had 9 keys on a key ring because of all the ranch stuff he needs keys for. He had a single gunshot wound to his head near the right eye.
Wow.
Not bad. The bullet, that's one thing about these ranch people. They're good shots. They're going to have to be a good shot.
Yeah.
Gonna be a good
Center
shot.
mass ain't a thing for them. They're going
No, apparently not. This is all headshots, man. Paul, so the single headshot near the right eye, the bullet entered near the eyebrow area and lodged on the left side of the brain. The doctor recovered the bullet from his brain, and it matched the one that he found in his wife's brain. So they're from the same gun. Because of the decomp, he couldn't follow the exact path of that bullet either. When he tried to determine the range at which the gun had been fired, he said it was very hard to tell because of the decomp, because the gunpowder residue would decomp off of you, that he said he judged it to be fired at intermediate range, which sounds like, I have no idea. I'm going to guess somewhere in the middle.
Here's a word that means nothing.
Yeah, exactly. Intermediate, somewhere,
Somewhere in there.
He said there was possible gunshot residue on the bone, which would have meant close range, but because of the decomp, he said he really couldn't tell.
A 38 is rarely, that's not target rounds.
No.
You're close with a 38.
Well, this is at least within the realm of in a
5
room
feet
together.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it's happened in the house, obviously, with all the blood happened in the house. So they determine everywhere in that house is intermediate. You know what I mean? It's not too far, not too close. So they rule it gunshot wound to the head, homicide, obviously. Right. The last body is that of the daughter, Marilia. She'd been wearing a bluish-green shirt, bra, denim jeans, tan cowboy boots. There were tears on her shirt in the right shoulder and armpit area. The tears were from 1 inch to 9 inches in length.
Okay.
It would later be determined that these tears and scratches on her under that were caused by a nail sticking out of the porch when she was dragged.
Oh, shit.
The nail caught her shirt and her body and scratched her.
Uh-huh.
Everybody's got a porch with one nail that's fucking, you got to hammer it back in, and that's what it is. So when she was dragged across the area, her shirt snagged. That's what they said. Now, there's 2 gunshot wounds to her head.
She got 2.
5 headshots is what this is. 1 bullet had entered the front of the head at the right eye. Man, someone has aim.
Going, wow.
And exited the back of her head. The other had entered at the left jaw area and lodged there. The wound in the jaw area was not fatal, and she still could have moved around, they said. Okay. So she's still ambulatory. The wound to the eye went through the brain and exited in the middle of the back of the head. That's a fatal shot. So that's a 100% death rate on that one. Yeah. So again, gunshot wounds to the head is her cause of death as well. So 5 headshots is what this is.
Unbelievable.
This is like the mob came and wiped them out. Yeah. This is crazy. So anyway, what they don't find anywhere on this giant 23-mile wide property, we're missing something here, is Cody. Where the fuck is Cody? Yeah, we're missing a member of the family. They look at the pictures
no body,
and they're like,
nothing. Yeah.
We got nothing. Where the fuck is Cody? They have another kid. And Sam Donaldson knew that too. He's like, there's 2 kids. And he was like, well, we only found 1. So they said that an anonymous tip led them to where Cody was. And he was at his friend's house near US 70, just hanging out. He showed up and to hang out with his friend. That's all. He pulled up.
How old is he?
15. Okay. 14, sorry.
Yeah.
He's only 14. He drove the pickup truck over to his dad's house, over to this kid's dad's house, and where his friend lived. But this is apparently very normal for young teenagers to drive around this area because ranch kids have to drive. That's it. You get your balls cut off if you don't pop the clutch properly. So anyway, he's at his friend's house. The friend's dad, his name is Faustino Salcido, and his sons are friends with Cody. And he said that Cody stayed with them both Monday and Tuesday night. That's the 4th of July and the 5th of July. They played basketball. They went down by the river and had fun and swam and shot off fireworks and had a great time. And the dad here said, we didn't suspect nothing because he was all happy. We'd never seen him like that.
Never seen him happy.
Never seen him happy. Yep. He said that before he was real quiet and drawn away. He'd talk to you, but he wouldn't carry on a conversation. Monday, you couldn't keep him quiet. He said, he then told me these were the 2 happiest days he's ever had in his life. The 2 happiest days he's ever had in his life, and he thanked me repeatedly for letting him stay. Thank you so much.
Yeah, that guy thinks he's the fucking dad of the year.
I'm the greatest dad ever. What do you want, bottle run? We want black cats? There you go. Fucking fire him off. I don't care.
Random-ass kids coming over here telling me I'm the best dad. Not even my kids.
Dogs or burgers? One of each? No fucking problem.
I'm the best dad. Bet your ass.
You got it, fucker.
You got a number 1 dad mug. Did you get one from a stranger? I did.
I did. Boom. How many
You're
people
number
get that
2 at best. Fuck you.
From their fucking friends' kids, man. Nobody. Me. Only me. Only Faustino gets that. So they talked to Cody. Cody tells the deputy that he left home Monday morning. Mm-hmm. This happened Monday afternoon. And hasn't been able to contact his family. So I called a couple times. I haven't been able to contact them, but I've been having a good time. I figured, fuck it. I mean, you're 14. You're having a good time. You're not checking up on adults. You don't care. They're letting you stay.
Roman
Great.
Candles? Fuck it.
Now the sheriff's deputies begin kind of interrogating him there. And the one guy here, a ranch hand said, or not the ranch, this guy is a ranch hand, but the father said, his friend's father said, that's when I went and started asking questions to the sheriff about why and what they're doing. Why doesn't he have a lawyer? He was saying. Mm-hmm. He is treating him like more of a son than anybody else ever fucking has, besides his own mother and his aunt.
Faustino is the number 1 dad. He really is.
In this guy's life, absolutely.
Best dad ever.
He said, why doesn't he have a lawyer? Why are they interrogating him without a lawyer? And they just told me he's not being interrogated. Oh. Like, he doesn't need a lawyer. He's fine.
Yeah.
That's weird. So they took some photos of him at the residence, and it was noted that Cody had some burn marks on his left shoulder. He's got a bunch of pretty good-sized burn marks on his left shoulder that look pretty fresh. Look no more than a couple days old.
Like cigarette burn or just like...
No, burns, like a something metal and hot was put on him and burned him, like that kind of thing. They asked how he got the burns, and he said that he'd been welding at the ranch and stood up and leaned against hot metal, so he got burned.
Okay. Yeah.
They said, okay. On closer inspection, though, they said that the burn marks, later on, they say, maybe they're older than what we thought they were, but we'll find out they're not. So he, the friend's father said about Cody, he didn't show no emotion. He kept asking them, what's happening? What's happening? Why are you asking me all these questions?
Yeah.
Because they didn't say, hey, your parents are dead. Let's talk about it.
He doesn't
They
know?
just came over, started asking him questions.
Wow.
He said, why are you asking me questions? And the guy said that the father said Cody was all calm going, why are you asking me these questions? And then he finally broke down when the deputy said, we're taking you down to the station to talk to you more. They said he started crying and broke down. This father went with him to the station, said, I'm going with him. I'm going to treat him like he's my son here because someone's got to look out for this kid, basically.
I'm going to find this guy and send him a mug.
He's fucking great. I really want to.
What a
They
guy.
said, let's at least send him a small town murder t-shirt. What do you say?
And a number one dad mug.
And a number one dad mug. He said that's when he started crying, saying that he knew it was wrong, but that the world would be better off without them in this world, and he was tired of all this abuse. He just started crying and saying this as they're bringing him to the car. Cody was doing that. So the father said that Cody told them that this is what he heard on the way. That Cody said he was cleaning the corral and his dad didn't like the way he cleaned it, so he smacked him a couple times and told him to go into the house. Cody said at that point he got into the barn, he went into his sister's saddlebag, got her .38 caliber pistol and went into the house.
Okay.
He said that his mom was in there. That's what the dad said, the friend's dad. It's not his mom, but try one. His mom was in there. That's the one he shot first. Then the dad and the sister came in and he shot them too. That's what he said. He told the cops on the way to the station. Now, the father said also the boy told the deputies his father hit him with a shovel and tried to strangle him over the weekend. And we'll find out one other thing that he says that they did a little later here, which is the weirdest shit of all. Of all this stuff that we've talked about, we haven't touched weird yet, guys.
Oh, boy.
Haven't touched weird yet, everybody. So this guy, he goes down with the station, like we said, and this guy also says the pattern of abuse was well known to his family, this friend's family, and his sons who were friends with him, and to the community as well. Everyone knew that this guy was abusive to his son. Why didn't anybody go over there and threaten this guy's life? I don't understand it.
Well, Faustino, you're a good dude.
Get 5 cowboys, go over there and go, we hear you lay another fucking hand on that kid. They're gonna find you in a manure pile, motherfucker.
Right. Yeah.
We're gonna make it look like an accident too. We know how ranch accidents look, and we can cause one.
Treat him like Goodfellas treated the mailman.
Yeah, exactly.
Throw him around a little bit.
Well, yeah, put his head in the oven, see what he thinks about that. So the two sons said that they recalled many instances when Cody would show up at school with black eyes and other bruises.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
They said that they asked the sheriff's deputies, did they ever investigate any of this abuse? And the sheriff said, I can say we did not. He said if a teacher reported it, we would have done something about it.
Oh, sir.
But nobody reported it. The one instance of abuse was in a different county, if we remember. That was not Lincoln County, different county. So they find a box of Remington .38 caliber shells in the pickup truck that Cody drove over to his friend's house. That's Paul's pickup. And they said, by the way, the backhoe had been returned to his original spot. That's nice. He parked it back where it was.
Yeah. Oh, shit.
They found his bloody clothes on the floor of Cody's bedroom closet. He just put them in his closet.
Nobody will find these here.
And before he left the property, he kicked the glass on the porch door to make it look like a break-in because he didn't know what else to do. Yeah. Now, they sit Cody down, and they take him to what's called a safe house, which is a room for interviewing children, which sounds creepy as fuck. We'll take him to the special place.
Take that child to that place where nobody will find him.
Take the child in that secret room. Yeah. And then 2 adults are going to go in there. Okay, good. So this is 2 officers, a male officer and a female officer. They begin the questioning here. And they said, okay, do you feel comfortable talking to me and Melissa like we did before? And he said, yes, that's fine. I'll talk. He said he was tired of being hit by his father and that his father had hit him constantly for years.
Yeah.
He said, I got tired of him hitting me, yelling and screaming at me all the time. He hit me all the time and I couldn't take it anymore.
Yeah.
They then said, well, what's he done to you? And he said, well, let's go over the list of what he's done recently. He's choked me until I nearly lost consciousness. I was awakened by, a lot of times, by either an electric cattle prod or cups of cold water poured on my face. That's how he woke me up. That's very nice. He said he would punch me in the gut, hit me in the face with the wire end of a fly swatter, so the handle part that's wire.
Yeah.
He would throw hay bales at him and hit him and knock him over if he was doing anything wrong. Being forced by his father to shoot a puppy. Could this guy get any worse? Why? By the way, he's going to get worse in a minute. But shooting a puppy is like something you go, what are he going to do now? Kill a puppy? Jesus Christ. God. Like, how much worse than you? Shoot a puppy given by a friend. The dog had some kind of injury and the dad made him shoot it rather than take it to the vet. Then being forced to repeat the 6th grade by his parents after they told the teachers the boy was immature. The teacher said, no, he's great. He's the top science student we have. And they said, he's immature. He's doing it again.
He still
and made him do farts. 6th grade again. Yeah. Sorry, still did that. Still thought it was funny. We played Dumb and Dumber for him. He laughed like a fucking maniac. He's out. He just kept laughing. Too immature.
He loves Adam Sandler movies. He'll do it again.
Oh, and like post-wedding singer Adam Sandler movies he likes. Like not even like the good ones from the early days. Yeah, he was like really into Click and
he wanted to go see Click in the theater.
He wanted to go see I don't even know the fucking name of it. The one with a bunch of couples where they do shit and it's boring. I don't know. What's the name of that bullshit?
Just go with it.
Where he bought everybody a car for being in it because it's terrible. Is that what it's called?
That's Grown Ups.
Fuck, which one is it? I know he made like Grown-Ups. He made like multiple movies too. Yeah.
Couples Retreat has been fun.
Yeah, there you go. So being forced to repeat the 6th grade, he recalls being dragged by a rope behind a horse. What the fuck is that? They used to do that to criminals in the old West.
Around his feet or around his waist? Like how?
He doesn't say. For making a mistake during ranch work. That's what he said. That's why.
He roped him and drug him. God damn it.
That's wild. He said, I've lost count of getting punched, slapped, kicked. That was a normal thing around my household. They say he's very polite. He's very matter of fact. He said, I can remember getting hit in practically every part of my body.
Yeah.
Now, he claims that this is the fucked up part. All right. He claims that on July 3rd, the night of July 3rd, his dad called him into his bedroom, into his father's bedroom.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh boy, what's going on now? What am I going to get hit for now? Yeah. When he walked in there, his stepmother was naked on the bed. And his dad was standing next to the bed. Okay? Try one just laid out. Okay?
Cowgirl, naked. Oh boy.
Naked, not even boots, nothing.
No.
Not even just naked with a belt and a big buckle. Nothing. She's got nothing on. The father said, have sex with your stepmother.
Okay. I don't believe this already.
Okay. Then he said, I said, no, I don't want to have sex with my stepmother.
Yeah.
That's weird.
Right.
He said, then his dad burned him with a welding rod in his shoulder, and that's where his burns came from.
I believe it now.
Yeah, he said, Dad took a welding rod and burned me with it because I wouldn't have sex with my stepmother, and then he ran off. He said that he said no, his dad burned him, and he ran off the property. So he just ran as fast as he fucking could and took off out of there because he was bleeding. And Then he came back the next morning. He stayed out all night.
Yeah.
Came back the next morning and was going to just do his ranch work like he had to do.
Milk the stalls, yeah.
And he said his dad slapped him a few times across the face for not cleaning the horse stalls fast enough.
Okay.
That's when he said, that's enough, and walked out of there, walked into the barn,
my God.
Got the 38, and walked into the house.
Yeah.
So, by the way, he said he replaced the birdshot ammunition, which was used for killing snakes, with bullets but he missed one. He must have only done that. So he then went inside the house where his stepmother was lying on the living room couch reading a book.
Oh.
Yep, he said he shot her in the head twice when he saw her in there. He said he shot her a second time to make sure she was dead, he said. He didn't know. So he's never done this before. Yeah. So he's...
I'm bad at mucking stalls. Like murder? Come on.
Once in the front of the head, once in the temple.
Okay.
He said the first shot was actually the snake shot. That's why So he's lucky he shot her twice because the first one just went into her temple with the snake shot. Then he shot her through the forehead. Okay. So Paul, hearing the shots, ran inside with stepdaughter trailing close behind him.
Yep.
Cody sees Paul walk in, one shot, bang, right in the fucking head, puts Paul down. He's a good shot, this kid. I'll give him that. Next, he pointed the gun. His stepfather went down, and there's a stepsister standing there. Yeah, right. And so he said he shot her in the head for fear that she would turn him in, he said. I thought she would tell. So then he dragged the bodies out of the house and loaded them in the bucket of the John Deere backhoe, he said. Yeah. He said he tried to bury them in a nearby plot of land, but he couldn't break through the ground because if you know anything about the Southwest, you can't dig. It's impossible.
Caliche is a motherfucker.
Yeah, you can think about it and you think, oh, it's like sand. It's not at all. It's rock fucking hard. If you put a pool in Arizona, they have to dynamite the earth. You can't just dig it.
If it's not just fill, it's a nightmare.
It's you can't dig on this shit. It's really, really hard. Even with a giant John Deere backhoe, he couldn't dig it up. Yeah. So he said, fuck, what do I do then? So he did that. That didn't work, which is the scratches they found on the ground and the other tracks. So then he said he'd just bury him in a shallow grave in a manure pile. He said after the murders, he changed his clothes, got in his father's truck, and went to the store for a can of Sprite.
Sprite.
I think that's better than having LeBron.
Murder?
That's better than having LeBron on your commercial down in one after a game. Got like his dad's brain matter on his hands, just down in a Sprite. Yep.
It's the champagne of
of
not even of child abuse.
Celebratory. It's like a recovery aid. Like, poof, I got to get some electrolytes back in my body. Gatorade must have been pissed when they heard about this. They were mad. Like, damn it, we're the ones that can. Fucking goddamn it, Sprite keeps taking this from us. So they cannot find the gun, by the way.
Really?
Nope. They said that he drove to a friend's house and he stayed there till he was arrested. He took a Sprite to his friends and then had the best 2 days of his life.
Hell yeah.
He said. So he said that he attempted to, he said, he didn't know why. He thought he could just dig a hole easy and it didn't work. Yeah. So that was a big deal. He said that Jesus Christ. He also said that he has had to have sex with his stepmother before.
This isn't the first time?
He said she would grab my head and put it on her breast, is what he tells the cops.
That's her move.
So that's interesting. That's something. He said that it was just constant. He said his father would hit him a lot. He said it was 2 or 3 times a week he'd be punched or slapped or hit or something. He said, but often his stepmother did it too. And also she was even meaner with the insults. So he describes one incident in which his father hit him so hard that he knocked him off a chair and left a bruise on his face. Just knocked him down with it. He said that Paul told him to tell his friends that he accidentally hit him while they were playing ball. Tell him we were playing catch out in the yard there and you just lost one in the sun.
I've seen the Sandlot.
Yep.
Tell him the webbing snapped.
You know how it goes. Yeah, you saw, whoa, that New Mexico sun is bright. Boy, I was trying to catch a pop-up, and my dad throws me the best pop-ups.
It's an old glove. I had a hat with a salmon on it. I couldn't see.
You know how it goes. You know how it is. My friend was Mexican. You know how it works. I had a fat friend and a Mexican friend, and I think there's a black kid in there somewhere. Friend. I don't know what I'm talking about. I know a black guy. That's right. I know there isn't one for, 700 miles and around us in any direction, but still. We played ball together.
He said that in Dallas.
Yeah. He said that his dad threatened to come after him if he reported him to the authorities. Basically, if you think that hurts, report me to the authorities and I'll show you what really hurts, essentially.
God damn it.
So he said that about the stuff with his stepmom, he said, I felt dirty. I felt disgusted.
You were raped, son. Yeah, you're supposed to. That's what that is. God damn it.
Now, here is the transcript of some of the interrogation. And interrogation's that's not even a fair word to put. 2 adult grown cops in a room with a 14-year-old isn't really an interrogation. You know what I mean? Technically it is, but it's
fucked up.
It's different. A kid doesn't have the same kind of mental capacity and power in this situation. The cop said, okay, I'm sitting here and I'm watching you, Cody. I mean, you got tears in your eyes and I need to know why. He said, you were talking earlier, Cody, that you said that it's not worth lying because it will always come back and bite you in the butt, that you get it worse. Am I right? Isn't that what you said? And Cody says, yeah. And they said, all right, Cody, you need to tell me what happened. And he said, I got tired of him hitting me, yelling and screaming at me all the time. He hit me all the time. I couldn't take it anymore. So they said, so what did you do, Cody? He said, I tried getting rid of him. And they said, how? And he said, getting him off the planet because I'd be better off without him here. Off the planet. They said, so what did you do, Cody? And he said, I shot him. Yeah. They said, with what? He said, a .38 special. They said, where's the gun? Where did you shoot him? And he said, in the head.
That's what the gun is.
Not the question they were asking, but okay. They said, well, where was he standing? He said he was walking through the door, out on the porch. And Cody said, the kitchen door. And they said, from outside the house into the house? And Cody said, yeah. They said, where'd you get the gun, Cody? It's a ranch. There's guns everywhere. You know what I mean?
Welcome to New Mexico, sir. You got one on your hip.
Yeah, we're
on my
so
hip.
many
You didn't
guns.
even search me.
Go home and look at your 6-year-old. They're probably packing.
Yeah.
So he said Marilia had it in her saddlebag for shooting snakes. And they said, what? Marilia had it? And he said, in her saddlebag. And they said, in her saddlebag? And he said, for shooting snakes. I just fucking told you,
doing
dummy.
great.
Yeah, this is going really well. You guys, I'm impressed. He said, so they go on to ask him, so when he was yelling at you to come in the house, where did you go? Did you go get the gun? He said, yeah, he already hit me before that. He slapped me. He was like, you're doing it wrong, boy. Here, come in the house while I go put up the tools. Okay, they ask him, okay, so you went and got the gun out of the saddlebag. Where's the gun at now? And he said, in the river. He threw it in the river.
Okay, yeah, one of them.
Yep. They said, in the river up here? And he said, yeah, not that far. They said, okay, so you shot your dad going into the house. Uh-huh. He says, mm-hmm. They said, was it outside the door? He said, yeah, he was walking in. And you shot him where? In the head. I just fucking said.
Look at him.
They said, where? He said, oh, I was next to the refrigerator. I got in the house before he did. It's pretty close range. It's like he walks through the door. Yeah, I've seen pictures of the kitchen, which I'll post on social media. Yeah. So basically, he's standing next to the fridge. Dad walks in. He's going to be about 2 feet away when he shoots him, just walking right through the door. So he said, I got in the house before he did. And they said, oh, you were in the... And Cody interrupted. He said, I got in before he did because he was out there looking at his truck or something, the bottom of his truck. They said, so you shot him. And where in the head did you shoot him? He said, I don't remember. They said, do you need a tissue or something? And there's no response. And they said, okay. They said, take your time. So you shot him and he fell. And there's no response. And they said, what about your stepmom? And he said, quote, and this is such a kid response, quote, I shot her too. She was mean. She hit me and stuff.
Yeah. And I'll bet he's shaking his head when they say these things to him. There's not like, there's no audible response, but they go, did you shoot her too? And he's just shaking his head, yeah.
This is an audio transcript, so yeah. They said, where was she when you shot her? And he said, on the couch. They said, on the couch? Yeah. What about Marilia? And they said, she was right behind my dad, coming in from the outside. No response, probably a nod. Mm-hmm. And they said, what did you do to her? He said, shot her too so she wouldn't go tell her nothing.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, sounds like a little rascal at the same time he's talking about murdering his whole family. It's very strange. It's a really weird combination. They said, then what happened to Cody? And he said, I stole the truck and I left with it. I had to get out of there. They said, where were they? And he said, I put them in the backhoe and tried to bury them. It didn't work too well. And he said, it didn't work too well. And they said, Dad, they're out there next to the sand pile I told you about.
Sand.
Sand pile. That ain't sand. They said, okay, where did you throw the gun out there? Where did you throw the gun out there? And he said, at the farm. So now the investigators searched the family's ranch home, but they do not find any kind of a welding rod that would make those injuries on there. Now, that could be because it doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Or it could be because a man said, fuck your stepmother. Yeah. And then when the kid said no, he burned him with a welding rod, and then the kid ran off. So he might have went, oh, shit, what if he runs off to the cops and said, I have burns on my arm because I won't fuck my stepmother, and then the cops come back here.
Or, and this may be crazy, but maybe he didn't have a welding rod in his fucking bedroom. Maybe it was the cattle prod. Maybe it was anything.
The thing is, it's a 23-mile ranch. It could be anywhere on this ranch, but they didn't find that. Yep. They said that Cody said to have burns that would come from such a device, and so that makes no sense. Now, Cody's teacher, now this all comes out in the public, and all these people who for years and years have watched this all happen, now they all have opinions on it, which is hilarious because someone maybe say something. I don't fucking know.
Yeah, you don't get to go to the newspaper now and be like, I knew for years he was getting, shut the fuck up then.
Now, when I tell you all these fucking people, none of these people reported not one iota of this to the fucking police before the murders happened. So Cody's teacher here, this is the one we told you about before, LaRiva, he said that classmates of Cody's have been telling their parents about all the abuse they knew about since then. Kids are good at keeping secrets. That's the thing. Kids are real good at that shit. How many times is there a teenage girl that knows her friend's getting molested and nobody else does and shit like that? You know what I mean? They tell their friends and their friends keep it secret. That's what they do all the time. So he said, the teacher said, why didn't this come out last year or months ago when we could have gotten him help? Yeah. Well, I don't know. Why didn't anybody say anything about it? Mm-hmm. That's something. Now, Cody's aunt, the one, Corliss, who was the one he had lived with and had sent him toys and clothes that were rejected, she said something caused Cody to snap because that's not who he is. She said, you can only take abuse so long. I don't condone what he did, but I don't want to see him go to prison. She said he needs help. He's needed help for a long time.
I don't disagree.
I don't disagree, but also, why weren't you constantly petitioning the courts saying, I want more custody of this kid because the father's abusive, especially if Cody is saying in public, he beats me.
Yeah, yeah. And I mean,
come on.
And one day we grow up, and when we are bigger than you, bad things are going to happen if there's no solution to this. So we got to fix this before the kid gets big enough to fight back, because when he does, it's going to get ugly.
Not only to fight back, but a lot of times this will then manifest in hurting people who didn't do shit to him.
Had nothing to do with this. Yeah,
this will manifest in hurting other people or being being in prison and doing all that shit.
Yeah.
So now Cody, life here, they talk about other people who worked in the ranch workers who noticed stuff. One woman, Alvera Lerma, said, I remember Cody pulled up his sleeve and he had burn marks from cigarette marks.
Oh, for heaven's sake.
They were putting out cigarettes on this boy. That's like an old school, like, what are they putting cigarettes out on you? Nobody actually does that. That's fucking insane. This woman said she saw a lot. She said her husband worked for Paul on the ranch, and she said she was often with both of them translating since Paul didn't speak Spanish.
Rakuten is the smartest way to save money when you shop because you earn cash back at over 3,500 stores. Fashion, beauty, electronics, home essentials, travel, dining, concert tickets, and more. Your favorite stores like Lowe's, Levi's, and Nike pay Rakuten to send them shoppers. And Rakuten then passes on a part of that payment to its members as cash back. You're already shopping at your favorite stores. Why not save while you're doing it? It's a no-brainer. Membership is free and easy to sign up. Get the Rakuten app now and join the 17 million members who are already saving. Cashback rates change daily. See Rakuten.com for details. That's Rakuten. Your cashback really adds up.
Escape reality and immerse yourself in a gripping tale of mystery, murder, and romance with June's Journey. Join June as she unravels the truth behind her sister's mysterious death, and use your observation skills to find hidden clues and uncover dark secrets. Plus, you get to explore stunning hidden object scenes, from New York parlors to Parisian sidewalks, as each chapter reveals captivating mysteries. How sharp are your observation skills? Put them to the test in June's Journey. Download for free today on iOS and Android.
How do you work in this area and not speak any Spanish, especially on a ranch? What's wrong with you?
Oh God, the amount of guys that work in this industry that only speak Spanish, they're not a lick of English.
No, it's you need to learn a little bit of Spanish at least. Mm-hmm. So this woman said, and he was violent when he would get mad. At one point, this woman said she told her husband something now that makes her feel very bad and gives her chills. Uh-oh. She said, quote, this is what she told her husband, I feel that something's going to happen to that family. Either Cody's going to kill Paul or Paul's going to kill Cody. So I feel bad not saying anything. Yeah, good prediction. You're better than the cops and the courts and everybody else here.
Police and fucking teachers and Elvira, you are fucking
not bad.
Singing pretty well.
Elvira. Now, a family friend of theirs named Rosie Aragon said, I knew something would happen sooner or later. She said that she thought that eventually Cody would run away because of the abuse. She said, Cody's got a good head on his shoulders, and I figured he would just get tired of it. She said she remembers one in particular incident here where Cody squatted down in his seat and his stepmother was just saying bad things. And if Cody doesn't do this, he knows he'll be in a lot of trouble, like that kind of thing. She said good grades were especially important. She said that on that ranch, getting a B meant beatings. B stood for beatings.
Wow.
You got a B, it meant you get your ass kicked. They said, but when he was in school, he could be himself. So she said he was happy during the time he spent in school, but when he had to go home, he didn't want to go home, which is why he wanted to do extracurriculars, which makes sense. This Aragon said that he didn't want to go home, Posey, because that he wouldn't be able to leave the ranch then. He's stuck there. Right. He said classmates all knew that he wasn't allowed to have friends over and he wasn't allowed to go to their homes either. Oh. Not allowed to socialize.
The control is so that people don't. I mean, everybody knows that he's getting beaten. Why don't you just let him go? Because it feels like they let him go to school because they're obligated
to. They have to.
But then nothing extra because that's more time that he could tell people what's going on. Everybody already knows, DP.
Yeah. Well, also, he's got to be doing ranch work. He doesn't have time to do, academic Olympics because ranch work is here. So, man, so they said that this is fucking wild, man. So that she said that he didn't want to go home, wasn't allowed to leave the ranch. She said after the shootings, though, where'd he go? To his friend's house because that's all he ever wanted to do. Right. This is the mother of that family there. She said, he came to the door and I was like, Cody, what are you doing here? And he gave me the biggest hug ever.
Yeah.
He spent the day with his friends, including her son. She said he told my son he didn't have to hurt anymore because his parents let him hang out with his friends. They're like, how are you here? And he's like, oh, my parents are letting me do this for once. Isn't this great? Now, reporters run into Sam Donaldson. Yeah. As, everyone he works with is a reporter, so that'll happen.
Easy. Yeah.
Pretty easy. He said he never heard about any abuse or witnessed any abuse, heard anything against the boy. This is on Good Morning America. He said that he described the Poseys as the all-American ranch family.
Sam
Donaldson. Is that hair shellac leaking into your fucking brain or what?
Dad's forcing him to fuck his stepmom, Sam. That's not all-American.
After a day of ranch work. You know what? That is all-American. That's the sad part. Work all day on the ranch and fuck your stepmom. That's how we do it here in America. Is that what we are? I don't want to be that.
That's the front page of Pornhub. I guess you're right.
That's what it is. He said the couple were hard workers and the daughter was a real sparkler.
Oh,
he called her. And he said that Cody was quiet and had been respectful to him there.
Yeah. Or else, sir.
Then he said, this is wild. Paul was a little hard on his son, but that's the way it is in the Southwest.
Okay.
You fuck your stepmom if you grow up down here, son.
You're beaten until you fuck your stepmom.
Wow. Man. He said, I never saw Paul raise his voice or hand in anger to his son, but he clearly expected a lot from him. I don't know. I'll let the psychiatrist figure it out.
Wow. What about a cigarette?
Jesus.
You ever see him raise that to him?
See that?
Sam.
Fuck, man. A welding torch, anything, a shovel, a 2x4.
A hay hook, perhaps.
Now, Paul's older brother, Dad's older brother, Verlin, Delbert and Verlin, these parents name their kids.
Those are cowboy names, man.
Wow. He doesn't believe any of this shit. He says the abuse, never any abuse. That kid never had a hand laid on him. You know what you're talking about.
The whole town knows, Verlin.
He said it was just an excuse implanted in Cody by his mother, before he watched her die.
What?
His mother just told him that his dad was real abusive when he was a kid, so he thinks his dad's abusive. But he really wasn't abusive, even though he remembers 100,000 specific incidents of abuse and can show you marks and scars that are related to them.
More like vermint. You are a nightmare, sir. You're a bad uncle.
Fuck. Verlin said anytime he got a spanking, that was abuse. He was told that was abuse. Every time he got in any trouble, he was disciplined by my brother. His mother's family told him that was abuse. I think we're talking about different things here when you're talking about spankings and fucking beating someone with a rope and threatening to fucking castrate them.
Drug behind a horse, Verlin. Are you kidding me?
And the uncle, this guy, Verlin, said the teachers, the principal, school counselors, no one ever reported it. It doesn't exist because kids never are abused without anyone knowing. He said, how do you hide it? The kid ought to have enough scars on his face so it would look like a road map. If you listen to Cody, he took as many licks as Muhammad Ali.
Oh, boy. Wow.
Well, I really want to, you know what? I know Verlin's an old cowboy, but I want to fight him real bad. I really want to fight Verlin. I want to pummel Verlin. No, I don't think so. Anybody who thinks abusing kids is this, and he's elder. That's what I was going to say, too. If his brother was like 35, he's at least 60. I'll take him.
Yeah.
I don't care. Even if I can. If I get one good lick in and go, anybody see that, motherfucker? No? It happened, though, didn't it? I just want to hit him once so I can ask him if it happened, even though no one's around to see it. If a tree falls.
What a shitty thing to say. I mean, I understand your family's been hurt, and tremendously so, but you can't deny child abuse, man. You just can't do it. Kid's got burns.
Yeah, that's what I mean. He's got burns. He's got cigarette burns on him. Yeah. When he was 12, he's not smoking and putting cigarettes out on himself. He said, goes on to say, but Paul would have given his life for that boy and Marilia, so I don't know. And if at some point he wants to talk to me, I hope at some point he wants to, it'll be down the road before I can probably do it.
I don't think he wants to talk to you.
I don't think he wants to talk to you. So the prosecution on this, because they're going to go ahead and arrest Cody, as we'll find out here, they say that apparently Verlin says that Cody made a veiled threat to his dad and stepmom one night.
What was that?
In the past. He said Cody got up and said, well, how do I know it's not an intruder, and how do you know I won't shoot you? Because they said they'll be home later. He said, well, how do I know it's not an intruder?
Yeah.
And they told him, because we're going out and we'll be right back. And this went on and on. He kept repeating it. They said, well, how do you know? How will I know it's not an intruder and I won't shoot you? And that's why they had to that's why they had to get a locking gun safe. Okay.
I hate that Cody said that, because he could have, I mean, if they were abusing him and he had that in his pocket to say, feels like Cody's been crafting his way out for a while.
He could have just done that. Oop, thought it was an intruder. You know how it is out here on the ranch, you know?
You never know.
I thought it was horse thieves. You know how you got to handle them.
I was Billy the Kid. Shit.
You
never found
never
his
know.
body.
So there's a memorial for Marilia. She has like her own memorial. The parents have one together, and it's down the highway from the ranch where she was killed. And that's the sad part, is she didn't need to be involved in this. You know what I mean? Her biological father, Jake, which, by the way, this guy is a decent human being.
Yeah.
No, he's a decent human being. Later, you hear a quote from him later. He's a decent person. This guy says, if there was an angel here on earth, I guarantee you she's as close as anybody that I've ever met to it, meaning his daughter. He said, I've got 1,000 images in my head just all the time. She was always making something. She could take flowers and make an arrangement that was beautiful and simple. It was like she waved a wand and it was done. She said her daughter loved animals and wanted to be a veterinarian, like every 13-year-old girl wants to be a veterinarian. They all do.
But she might very well do it.
She actually was around horses.
Kids,
they're not around horses. They have a dog.
Kill that dream when they hear about what you got to do. But she's done it.
She's seen it. He said she had the feeling for the animals. She was a great person. She was going to be somebody. I'm sure of it. Now, another witness comes in here, Brian Basham, who is Try-One's brother.
Yeah.
He said that during April 2004, he went on a visit to the ranch. Cody had told him, they were talking about stuff. What are you up to? And he said, I was just on the internet. And the guy said, what are you looking up? And Cody told him that he was visiting true crime websites. And which, I mean, if that was a crime, holy fuck, everybody, we're all in trouble here. So he said, and he was looking up the case of Lyle and Eric Menendez. The killers, obviously, from the 1989 Beverly Hills murders that we've talked about on a Patreon episode and everybody kind of knows about, and that he was looking up the Menendez brothers. So the difference is, though, the Menendez brothers, in addition to saying they were ridding themselves of abuse, there's also about $12 million to sort out with there. These are people who work for Sam Donaldson. So not the same motive and not the same anything here. He didn't go off and fucking go to a Knicks game and sit side court and get on a Mark Jackson hoops card, did he? No, I don't think he did.
Yeah.
So let's delve into Delbert a little bit here. They take an analysis of his computer from Delbert's office on the ranch and showed that someone had searched out numerous porn websites, including sites focused specifically on incest. Now, we don't know if that's stepmother porn or incest. You know what I mean? Because like a stepmother porn is like a 26-year-old girl fucking a 25-year-old guy, and she's like, yeah, your dad's gonna be mad when she finds out, whatever the fuck it is, and that's what it is. But are they looking for like,
are they doing that? Or are they going to like some weird website that's on the dark web that has like a little girl being raped by a brother? That's fucked up.
I'm gonna force siblings to fuck each other, or is it some I don't know, whatever the fuck it is. So we don't know the exact deal of it, and I'm kind of happy we don't have to. I'm happy they didn't list websites that I then had to look up and fucking look through. Thank you.
But it's probably Lisa Ann in her late 20s fucking a man 23 and pretending to be your stepson. Yeah,
he's pretending to be 16 and she's pretending to be 31, and that's how it works.
Right.
So the whole court shit, they put him in juvie. They arrest him for the murders. They put him in juvie, and they keep him there for 18 months till a trial is ready to happen.
Oh, boy.
Okay. During that 18 months in juvie, he is involved in 10 fights.
Wow.
And is held it spends 80 of these days in solitary confinement and isolation.
Wow.
That's a lot.
That's an aggressive kid.
That's well, I mean, if you got people who aren't your dad trying to fuck with you, you're not taking that shit from them. You're not my dad.
You've got kids coming in there saying, oh, you killed 3 people? Let's see how tough you are. And they're fucking with him.
That too. And it's a tough thing. So he's there. Now, staff members who worked with him at the Albuquerque Center for the Juvenile Rehabilitation, whatever the fuck, for 5 months, say that they will testify that he's amenable to treatment. He's cooperative. The fights aren't like he's nice to the staff and everything. It's just if somebody fucks with him, he fights. Experts in child abuse cases have found that once the people that are doing the abusing are out of the way, generally and classically, these children have gone forward and not been bad people. They're not murderers. They're just, once they clear that out, they're fine. That's what the defense is trying to find here. His defense lawyer said he's received thousands of letters and emails in support of Cody. He said the public in this community and this state and this nation doesn't agree with the prosecutor that Cody is a threat to them. Now, trial comes up. First of all, the porn is in. We're gonna
talk about that.
The judge rules porn is fucking open season on porn. We can talk about there. I'm sure they spent days going over exactly which websites he was on and what's on there.
We don't know which person watched that, right?
It was his. He's the only one who used the office on that computer.
Cody's?
No, it's Delbert's.
Oh, right.
That's
That's my point. Yeah.
Yeah, it's on Paul's locked office. He's the only one that
Why is
uses
that
it.
in? Why are we talking about that?
Because if he's real into incest, he might want to watch his son fuck his stepmother. Yeah, that's I think what it is. So the judge, that's a leap to let them put that in there. You know what I mean? So they do, though. They allow that. The prosecutor really tried to bar evidence about the porn websites, which if Cody had been looking at them, they would definitely want them in at that point. Yeah. So they contended that there would be no evidence conclusively showing the boy's parents viewed the websites or that porn would cause someone to engage in incestuous behavior, which that's true. They said that the judge said that the computer evidence suggested that Cody Posey's that the account basically that what Cody said was not pure fantasy and this shit backs some of that shit up and I'm allowing it in. Let the jury decide. Yeah. That's what it is. If it's at all relevant, that's why you have a jury. It's up to them to decide.
Yeah.
So the prosecution in their opening here, they said they're going to focus on how the 3 victims were killed and on his actions after the slayings. They said he stole a pickup truck to dispose of the gun. And, these are all cover-up things. This isn't
potato salad.
Had potato salad. They said, quote, he was cool and callously detached in the manner he covered up his crimes. He played basketball. He smoked marijuana with his friends. He went swimming. Not marijuana. He went swimming. Swimming? You monster. How dare you swim? He generally had the time of his life while his family was rotting in that pile of manure.
Yeah.
Man, she said that Cody had reloaded the gun after the shootings. He said, do we have any doubt what would have happened if the Donaldsons had come back early? Would he have shot Sam Donaldson and his whole family to death at his ranch house? I don't think he would have killed Sam Donaldson. I really don't. I don't think he was killing every motherfucker around. I think he was killing his family. Gonna kill Sam Donaldson.
I think he's killing the people that he sees as
abusive,
the source of his pain. Yeah,
and we're not making a judgment of whether that's right or wrong. We're just saying, trying to get an explanation.
I think Sam was safe.
And going over this, trying to pick something, a side, or not picking a side, because there is no good side here. But going over it, I tried to compare it to other cases we've done, and the first one that popped in my mind was "Don't Anger the Princess."
Yeah.
In Arkansas, but there was zero abuse or even claim of abuse there. Right. That was literally, I just felt like killing my dad driving away. Like that was bonkers.
This is a 15-year-old who his 14. His out is at 18 to be able to get away from all this. And at 14, that 4 years of this abuse, that is so 48. That's forever.
He starts high school in the fall, so he didn't even start his freshman year yet. You remember how long high school was?
Yeah. The first day of high school, you're like, oh, my God, I have 4 years of this?
This is fucking crazy. So,
Jesus.
They said there was only one reason for Cody to reload that weapon, and that was to kill anyone else who came upon that scene or to replace it. Yeah. Whatever. Yeah.
They're not. That's not a bad argument either, because he did say he killed that girl to
make her not be able to not talk. That's what I have a problem with here with Cody is if he kills mom and dad, and then says to Marilee or whatever, get the fuck out of here right now. These fucking motherfuckers. I'm mad he's in court. I'm going. Yeah. We should put their corpses on trial at this point for abusing the kid.
But if he doesn't kill her, he doesn't get to smoke weed and swim.
He doesn't get to do fireworks. He doesn't get to play basketball. He really doesn't get to have that awesome 4th of July weekend that he really wants.
That onions and mustard. God,
doesn't get to work on his 3-pointer. He's not going to get a dog and a burger. He's not getting any of it. It's all gone. So I don't like. That's the thing is, even if she's an asshole and spies on. She's 13 years old. She's doing what her parents tell her and praise her for. Right. She doesn't have the moral. At 13, you don't have the moral judgment to go, it's wrong for me to do this. Yeah. You're just a kid being rewarded by your parents. And you don't even, this is your stepbrother. You're not even related, you know?
And she sees how he's treated. And if I don't tell, they're going to do that to me.
Yep, that's exactly what it is.
She feels like that's the action and reaction as a child is everything that you're built on. If you see the reaction to an action, you're not going to do that action if it's fucking beaten.
And if someone tells you, would you rather have him get beat up all the time or you, you'll go, well, beat the shit out of him. I don't fucking want to get beat up. This is crazy.
Would you rather get beaten or do you want a Capri Sun?
Exactly.
Capri Suns are amazing.
Or do you want me to start looking for your car when you're 16 now, even though you're 13? Which one? So the defense in his opening, the argument here, Gary Mitchell's his name, the defense attorney, he argued that Cody killed his family members because they acted as a unit, including his spying stepsister, who would then tell the parents, who would then beat the shit out of him. So the way he looked on it, she was helping heap on physical and emotional abuse over several years. Like, this isn't one incident. This is every day for years. Yeah. He said that the accounts of longstanding abuse were corroborated by multiple witnesses. He said good people, hardworking people. I don't know why that would matter anymore if they've watched abuse or not, but you have to show that you're a good, hardworking person in America before anyone will take you seriously. Shit. Yeah, you're much more dishonest if you're not hardworking.
Yeah.
And they were deemed factors in the boy's state of mind by 2 psychologists, he said, which we'll talk to. The defense attorney repeats a litany of abuses that Cody and others will say they'll testify to. And he says, how much do we ask of a child? Not a single human being should have to tolerate that, after he describes everything. They also showed the jury photographs of 3 burns here that he had. I'll show you the picture too. Photographs of 3 burns and that were said happened on the night of July 4th in an attempt to force him to have sex with his naked stepmother. He said, in the end, ladies and gentlemen, we ask, how much do we ask of a child? How much do we demand he tolerate? And do we allow him to fight back? He said he endured a difficult life of traumatic events that left him suffering from depression, PTSD, and we just find out that just a couple months before this happened, Cody started taking antidepressants as well, which we absolutely know for a fact can, especially in teenagers, bring about violent behavior if it's not the right medication or the right dosage. So this has happened a lot. So that's another thing to throw in the mix now. Did that have anything to do with this? So
which one was it?
We don't know. We just know it's antidepressant. But there's a bunch. They all have their all different ones, you know. They all have their all different side effects. Now, here comes Verlin again.
Oh, God, this guy again. He's exhausting.
Verlin testifies for the prosecution. He says he never heard his brother express hate for Cody or saw him physically abuse the boy.
Okay, one has nothing to do with the other, but go on.
Nope. You can definitely express, I hate that little bastard. Well, don't beat him, please.
Yeah. A lot of people
hates their son?
Abuse the fuck out of their children, and they say they do it out of love. You don't know what you're talking about, Verlin.
No, which is interesting because then there's like people like you who will tell me I hate my son, but you won't beat him. You won't tell him you hate him either. You'll just tell me I hate this son of a bitch. You don't mean it. You're just venting. But you've said it so many times. I get it. He's a teenager. That's what happened. Yeah. You love him.
He's the best kid ever.
You don't hate him 5 minutes later, but when you come out from him going, I don't want to do that, well, then you get on the phone with me, you're like, I hate that son of a bitch. I swear to God, Jesus Christ. And then you're laughing 2 minutes later. You're not like, I'm going to go get a welding rod and burn him.
I would never.
I'm going to put my Black and Mild out on his arm. I don't think you say that.
And there's parenting of like beating and you got to leave the door open for the thought that you may, you know what I mean? But don't fucking do it. Yeah,
that's the thing. You got to be like, I wouldn't want.
Have some posture. Talk through your.
Wouldn't want him
teeth.
to kick my ass. Yeah, you know what
Jesus,
I mean?
Dad's fucking crazy sometimes.
Yeah, Jesus, man, he's big and angry, and he just every once in a while have a special wall in your garage that's just made to punch holes through. Put no studs in it, just drywall, and just fucking and the kid will be like, Jesus, Dad's a monster.
Just load up some anger so they're like, fuck, he's so little, and I think I could take him. But I don't think I can take him.
I don't think I can take him. Stage yourself fighting like a dead bear, but pretend it's alive. You're like, Jesus, Dad killed that bear.
Just drag one home one day.
Verlin said things weren't always good. He said of his brother's relationship with Cody. He said there were hard times and good times. That's just life. Well, that's true. Now, his ex-stepmother is going to testify.
Oh?
Oh, yeah. This is Sandy.
Oh, the lady that saw shit.
Yes. She is asked, did Paul ever hit you? And she said no. They said never, and she said never. They said, so we're supposed to believe now that this man is some sort of controlling, abusive, violent monster, that he beat his son so badly that he would somehow be forced to murder, but he never hit you.
Right.
And she said, no, he never laid a hand on me. Yeah, didn't hit the other one either, or the daughter.
Yeah.
Focuses it all on Cody. That's it. I feel like, I don't know what his dad did to him, but I feel like it was probably fucking brutal. And that goes for Verlin too.
Yeah. They're cowboys. They figure it's you earn being a cowboy. You don't just fucking jump in these fucking saddles with your spurs on and you're a cow. You got to get beat up your whole life to be able to do this. It's a rite of passage.
The job beats you enough, though. I think that's a physically demanding job. You don't need to be punched in the face. Also. Now, the defense is going to call 14 witnesses to the abuse.
Wow.
Which is a lot.
Never happened.
Bunch of people. Never, not once. 14 people. All decent people. None of these are like, oh, this guy, we had to get him out of prison for this. Right. These are like the teacher and, some friend of a friend of one of his, parent of one of his friends.
14 people guilt-riddled that wish they'd said something now.
Yep. And they all said that they think the boy snapped after enduring years of abuse. That's what all the people said. Several witnesses testified that he had become what they've watched Cody become more tense and withdrawn when his father would come around. He would change, his whole entire thing would change. Many of his teachers, classmates, and fellow ranch hands from the home in Hondo served as defense witnesses, corroborated the claim that the Posies abused their son with shovels, lariats, rocks, hay hooks, and other, quote, implements of ranch life, as well as just plain fists and demeaning words and cigarettes. So
they just bully him every day.
Yep, Slim Britton takes the stand.
Oh.
It's great, too. There's this picture of Slim. He's in court. They got him out of the witness stand. He's standing next to the witness stand demonstrating what he did with the hook. So it's Slim in cowboy gear in court with his arm extended with the hook coming out of it. So it looks like he's attacking a lawyer. It's amazing.
Old Slim.
So he testifies about that and abuse and threats of castration and all that kind of shit. Then Cody testifies. They got to put him on the stand.
Yeah.
They got to put him on the stand and have him look like a child who has been beaten. Now, he's 16 at this point, by the way, because 18 months have gone by.
And 2 years in the joint, putting up with all kinds of shit. This is a hardened kid now.
Now he's been through so much in his life between tragedy and abuse and everything else and what he did, the murders and everything else. No, they said he took the witness stand to tell the jurors. He told a dramatic series of stories about a life of persistent physical abuse and verbal belittlement by his father and stepmother. He talked about his mother's funeral, and other people had talked about this too, where his dad showed up at the church with a cop and argued with his aunt, demanding to take custody of the boy. Cody testified that he told the officer. He said, I said it to the officer. He said, I said, quote, I don't want to go back with my father because he's abusive and he beats me. And the cop said, well, that's up to your old man, buddy, and moved him along. He told a police officer that and he did nothing.
The cop said, you don't know what abuse is. Get in the truck.
Yep. Cody said the officer gave him his card and told him to call him in the event of abuse.
Oh, my God.
Which he's not going to do because he's terrified of his father.
Well
nice,
done,
yeah,
officer.
Good job, excellent. Yeah, that's terrific. I mean, that's like you go over to a domestic violence situation. He beats me all the time. Well, here's my card. If he kicks your ass again, give me a call. No, it's not what we're doing. Wow. So he said, "quote This is Cody. Quote: I wanted a family. I've seen families on TV. Oh, Jesus Christ, that might be sadder than."
Yeah, what the
I wanted to sit in the front with my new dad. That might be even. I've seen families on TV.
This kid's an orphan with a father. That's crazy.
Fucking A. He said that he'd seen him on TV. He said, I wanted to be the kid that my dad said, look, that's my kid. I wanted to be appreciated. I wanted to be liked and loved. That's all I was wanting. He said, though, he was slapped or punched 2 to 3 times a week, usually by his father, but often by his stepmother. And this was also teamed with regularly demeaning insults, either with the beating or just, on its own. Who knows? He said, I wanted to love him, meaning his father, and I wanted him to love me back, but it was hard to please him. There really was no pleasing him. Man, he testified that after a final argument with the father outside the home, and he testifies that they tried to have him have sex with his stepmom and all that. Yeah. He says after the final argument with his father outside the home, he went inside, shot his stepmother as she lay on the couch. His father rushed in to the sound of the gunshots, shot his father, shot his stepsister, and he had hidden behind a refrigerator. He stood, if you see it, the fridge is right next to the door.
Yeah, so he stood
right
on
next.
the side of it.
He stood in front of the fridge so they can't see when you come in the door, and then when they walked in front of the fridge, he's standing there with a gun and shot him. That's how it worked. That's how he did it. Shot them in the head. So they bring in defense psychologists and psychiatrists here. A psychologist testified that Cody's ability to reason and control himself had been diminished by anger and fear when he killed his family. Psychologist Susan Cave said she testified that at the time of the killings, he suffered from chronic depression, PTSD, and had been physically and sexually abused by his father and stepmother. He got no counseling after watching his mom die. In 2000, it's not like it happened in 1960. I could see that.
His dad just gave him pills?
4 or 5 years later, he got pills. 4 years later. So nothing, though. No, he didn't have counseling or anything like that. He testified, they talked about him trying to be forced to have sex with his stepmother, and they said that this attempted sexual assault, then getting slapped by his father, caused an upwelling of extreme emotions and in Cody, and such as fear and anger that overwhelmed his self-control. The psychologist said, I think he was overwhelmed by emotion and felt he was in imminent danger, which doesn't mean it would happen in the next 60 seconds, but it could happen at any time. That's true. His life could be in danger. That's the thing.
He has as much fucking anxiety as a 36-year-old that's,
that's got bills and like a divorce and child support to pay and a failing business.
Right. And a fucking
like a failing restaurant or something.
Of a kid they wanted. All kinds of crazy shit.
Just happened.
Jesus.
Fucking A. We need a new roof on the house. It never ends. It never ends.
The disposer just went out. Oh, my God.
No, for Christ's sake. Jesus, I hope something's clogged in there.
Those
I can't afford a new one. Oh, for fuck's sake. And I got to put it in now, too. That's half my Saturday.
Yeah, $300, and then I'm going to pay the labor? No, I'll do it. God.
No. Doing it
Throw
myself.
my shoulder out trying to hold it up and spin that thing? God damn it.
God damn it. So under cross-examination with the psychologist, a prosecutor asked, and the psychologist acknowledged that she was not saying Cody had lost his ability to form specific intent to kill his family. That's not what I said. I said that he snapped and it happened.
Right.
Now, the prosecution in their closing, they told the jurors that Cody, who has several times lowered his head at the defense table because he's ashamed. They said, look at him over there. Yeah. They said he deliberately, brutally, and callously killed his 3 family members, used a backhoe to bury their bodies near a manure pile, under poop. Yeah. And then took steps such as breaking a kitchen window and writing a fake note. That's where the note came from. Sorry, coppers. That was from him. Yeah. To deflect suspicion from himself. She then said, having completed his work for the day, he drove to the Hondo store and bought a Sprite. And since that day, Cody Posey and his defense team have tried to create a tale of abuse to pile more manure on the bodies of his family.
You know what manure is, James? That's
bullshit. Piling shit on them. Yep.
Bunch of bullshit.
To negate any of the responsibility he might have to take for his own actions. They asked the jurors to find him guilty of first-degree murder in the shooting deaths of his father, brother, and stepsister. Now, the jury instructions, father, stepmother, and stepsister. Now, the jury instructions, this is what they have to choose from here. They can find him guilty of voluntary manslaughter if they conclude that he did not act in self-defense, but did act as a result of sufficient provocation. Okay. That sounds about right here for me. They also can find him, he acted in self-defense, if it concludes that there was an appearance of imminent danger or death or great bodily harm because of abuse, and he was in fear of them and that harm, or they can find him guilty of, first-degree murder there. So the verdict comes in.
Is it 3 counts?
There's 3, and then there's other ones too. Tampering with evidence. There's a bunch of stuff,
but it's definitely 3 counts.
It's for each body, because they're going to get different. He's going to get different results for each person. By the way,
really.
Verdict comes in, 7 women and 5 men in the jury. They deliberate for 12 hours, which seems like you'd need more time to talk about that.
Fast.
Seems like this is like, we got a lot to sort out here. Yeah. Holy shit. Especially because there's 3 different verdicts that you can come to and all this shit and with the different people. So, and they come back into court. He is found guilty of first-degree murder in the death of his stepsister.
Okay, yeah.
First-degree murder. So there's no reason why she should have died. That makes sense to me. Second-degree murder in the death of his stepmother. And then voluntary manslaughter in the death of his father. So they believed the abuse.
Yeah, they do.
But not enough.
Yeah.
Okay. He was also found guilty of 4, and when you find out why they came to that, because it doesn't make a lot of sense. It does when you hear about it. So they also find him guilty on 4 counts of evidence tampering that stemmed from his use of the backhoe to bury the bodies and throwing the gun. It's 1 for each body, and then the gun in the river.
I don't know if you've heard, James, but Hondo's deep. It's
deep.
Spanish for deep. So that
deep
that
river.
Never coming back.
Deep river. Yes. So he could face sentences of 3 years each for evidence tampering on top of all the other shit now. When this verdict comes in, his aunt, who tried to protect him and do all that, a lot of his family, they break down when they find out. Then they're found guilty. They're crying. They're sobbing. She has to be taken out of the courtroom on a stretcher.
On a stretcher?
On a stretcher. She passed out from lack of breath from crying and shit. She lost her mind.
Man, keep it together.
Lost her fucking shit. Not even her kid. So at least one juror has said the verdict was a compromise. It's a compromise verdict.
Somebody wanted him fucking taken apart.
Yep, and somebody wanted him let go, and they said, let's meet in the middle, basically.
Wow.
They said that they recognized long-standing child abuse that the defense contended provoked the killings, and the jury's belief that the death of the daughter was avoidable. Yeah. Like if they said basically, if you just killed the two parents, we're voluntary manslaughtering on both of you and you're fine. But you killed her, so not cool. Now, the reactions of this, this is Ellen, who is, this is the guy. Oh, this is the mother of Cody's dead stepfather. So his former step grandmother,
the one that he wants,
Russell's
his new
father,
dad,
my new dad,
Russ. Oh God, damn it,
Rust. She said that, quote, they're wrong, meaning the jury.
Yeah.
She said it'll be appealed and we'll be back. We'll continue to love Cody and believe in him. We're not going to lose our faith in him. They're not even. She's not even related to this kid anymore.
No kidding.
But they feel something for him because of what he's been through, and they knew what he'd been through. So if you get this kid into your family and like he's been abused and all that, you're going to be like, oh, well, we'll keep an extra tight, we'll keep a watch on him and a bubble around him, Verlin, on the other hand, he thought that the verdict was a compromise, but he was pleased that the nephew would be locked up. He said 1 lifetime in prison is a pretty small debt for 3. That's what he said.
That's a hard
Verlin's
man.
Cold,
Jesus
fucking
Christ.
blooded.
Feel sorry for any of his children. Fuck.
Yeah.
To deal with him every day? Fuck.
He got kicked in the balls by a mule and didn't even react. He just kept moving.
It's a hard man.
Cody's lawyer, Gary Mitchell, said he became emotional several times during the trouble when speaking of the ordeals he believed Cody had endured, and said that Cody was unprepared for this verdict. Yeah. He said children never expect horrible things to happen. He thinks there's some sort of sense of justice in the world. You're 14, you feel like, nothing bad could happen.
Good will always prevail.
He said, we put the blame on a 14-year-old for the sins and omissions of the adults. This could have been prevented if those adults who stood by came forward, yet we expect him to act with greater courage than them at 14. Yeah. That's fair.
Also, we don't take the word of a 14-year-old because sometimes they're manipulative little shits and they just don't want to.
That's the other thing.
They just don't want to eat fucking Brussels sprouts and they're going to say their parents abuse them.
No.
Yeah.
They want their poop to smell vegan, and then they don't want it anymore. That's what happens. So he said that he hugged him after the verdict came in, the lawyer, and he said, I just held him like I would hold my own son. That boy never had a chance. That's in life, I think.
There it is. To sum it up fast, that's it.
He never had a chance. Now, the sentencing comes around. The problem is, since he was 14 when this happened, he can be sentenced as a juvenile, or he can be sentenced as an adult.
Okay.
And that's the interesting part. The prosecutors say they definitely want him to be sentenced as an adult here. Yeah. That would mean that he would spend at minimum 47 years in prison before he's eligible for parole. That's just on the first 2 counts. Then there's the manslaughter and the tampering with evidence. So he could be in prison for upwards of 50 years. He could be 68 years old before he gets a chance of parole, essentially.
Christ.
Which is crazy. If they choose to sentence him, this is up to the judge, by the way.
Yeah.
If the judge chooses to sentence him as a juvenile, he can only be held till he's 21. Okay. And to sentence him as a juvenile, the court must conclude that Cody is amenable to rehabilitation, including psychiatric care, and that such treatment is available as well.
Oh, no.
Now,
those 10 fights are going to come back to haunt him, aren't they?
Well, they also said the 3 months and 14 days short. When he did this, he was 3 months and 14 days short of being 15 years old. Mm-hmm. Had he been 15, the judge had been required by state law to impose an adult sentence on him for first-degree murder. Which is crazy to make a law. Yeah. A 15-year-old is an adult no matter what if this happens, but nothing else under the law in no other way, shape, or form. They could show they have 180 IQ, not allowed to vote, drive, fucking drink, buy a lotto ticket, join the army, enter into a contract, none of that shit. But you can definitely fucking
impose
death the rest of your life. You understand the rest of your life only in that respect and no other one.
Wow.
So the family members and other supporters, people who didn't even know Cody, have a big rally outside. They have 100 people out there. They have signs saying free Cody and all this shit. Wow. It's a big thing. They parade in front of the courthouse. Then they hold a candlelight vigil asking that he be sentenced as a juvenile.
Oh, God.
They place 24 signs in front of the courthouse, pray for Cody, justice for Cody. People came all the way from Hawaii, said aloha from Hawaii, justice for Cody. Like, people came from everywhere. His aunt, Corliss, is kind of the leader of all this. She said she's spoken to Cody almost every night by telephone. She said he's scared but positive. He's afraid to get up and speak in front of the judge. He's afraid it won't be perfect.
Oh.
Well, luckily, this guy won't hit you in the balls with a fucking knotted rope if you fuck up.
Don't worry, there's no cattle prod coming.
Nothing. So during sentencing, the prosecution witness is a psychologist named Juan Sosa. He testifies that he does not believe that Cody will be amenable to treatment. He says particularly because of the evidence of past abuse. So they say there's no past abuse, convict him of first-degree murder. Then in sentencing, they go, well, you can't fix him because he's so abused.
Well,
that's their case. Man. That's their fucking case, which I'm whatever, but it's just I hate illogical, and you can't say one thing and then another. It's illogical.
Don't be a hypocrite, no matter what.
It's fucking stupid. So they said that, under the questioning by the prosecution, the psychologist said that Cody exhibited a number of psychopathic traits, including emotional distance, grandiose thoughts about himself, impersonal sexual contacts, lying and manipulative behavior. He said there's no cure or there's no treatment that will cure or solve his behavior.
Oh, boy.
Throw him away, 16. So under cross-examination, he acknowledged that analytical tests, such as the one administered to Cody, do not, when given to adolescents, necessarily predict psychopathic behaviors in those people as they do in adults because they're not formed yet. They're not fully formed. He said that Mitchell said that he will this is the defense attorney, he will show that abused children who have killed their parents do not necessarily go on to commit acts against others. Two more prosecution witnesses, clinical psychologist Susan Cave, or they had more. Then clinical psychologist Susan Cave for the defense said that no academic studies show the psychopathy checklist administered to the boy can predict whether juveniles will end up being psychopaths as adults. It's not a fucking crystal ball.
Yeah.
You can tell whether an adult is a psychopath, not whether someone will become one. He said these are teenagers. They're growing and constantly changing.
Right.
Yeah, talk to a kid when they're 14 and 16. They're a different human being completely.
I was a fucking monster. I'm still not great, but then, Jesus Christ.
I was a monster from 14 to 16, but a different kind of monster at 16 than 14.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Victim impact statements come up now.
Oh, boy.
Here we go. Guess who's first
Vermin.
up on that stand?
Let us hear it.
Verlin is first in line here. And he told both Cody and the court that he believed that the boy killed his younger stepsister so she would not be able to refute the abuse allegations that were key to his defense.
Wow. He's really
Cody's
reaching.
diabolical, he's saying, yeah. He said, I cannot believe the amount of hate and evil can exist in one young man. He said, Your Honor, I believe that anyone that can kill his entire family and bury them in a manure pile is certainly capable of doing all sorts of heinous crimes against a perfect stranger. Yeah. Therefore, I believe society should be protected from a cold-blooded murderer like Cody Posey.
That cow shit pile really stuck in his craw.
That was the one, man. If he threw him in the river, they would have been fine.
Yeah.
These people would have thought it was fine. They wouldn't have had a talking point.
That insult is too much for him to bear.
Man. Verlin's wife, Shonda, said she asked God to shine his light on all the lies about the abuse told by the boy. How dare you bring God into this shit, you fucking twat. Boy. I don't like this at all. And his defense attorney and witnesses. I asked, that's such a fucking annoying. I asked God to, since you're such a fucking piece of shit, I asked God to come fix you. You pompous twat. Okay, sorry.
Where was that
hate when
light,
people say that. Right? Now, Tryon here, Tryon's father, Pat, called the boy a time bomb waiting to go off. Yeah, said, Cody.
Kids are not just time bombs waiting to go off. They are created to be that way. And if that's the case, then you can't feel, you can't.
You know how you make one? Exactly how we just told you this whole story. This is how you do it.
Force him to fuck his stepmom. He'll be a lunatic.
He said Cody Posey is a deliberate killer, murderer of the first degree. Cody Posey will kill again if it suits his purpose. The killing of the members of his family did not end Cody's tendency to use force to get his way if other people's oppose his interests. So, meanwhile, like we said, there's here his aunt testifies for him. Corliss says Cody is not a throwaway penny, Your Honor. He's salvageable. You put him in prison, and Your Honor, all you're doing is allowing the monsters to take over where the other monsters left off.
Yeah. Yeah,
that's it.
Here's the thing about this, though, too, is like saying that he searched the internet for like cases like this. He wouldn't have done it if he would have seen what happened to the Menendez brothers. Even saying that
they're still in prison,
they're still in prison, and today still
didn't
in
work.
Prison. Didn't work. Didn't go.
No. I mean, they had a mistrial, but then they ended up going to prison.
And in 2004, they were still in prison.
Yep. Cody apologizes and pleads with the judge for an opportunity to better himself and others.
Yeah.
He says, ever since the day of July 5th, 2004, I've been haunted by the actions that I took. He said, every day I regret what I did. I know that it wasn't right. He said he acknowledged that it's been difficult to express his emotions, which seeing your mom die in front of you might do that also.
I mean, there's a lot of things that have happened.
Yeah, he said treatment he's received at the state-run facility in Albuquerque has helped him learn how to handle himself. He says he feels he can still learn more if he gets the opportunity. He said his other goals include graduating from high school, studying computer science at college, and earning a law degree to help other abused children. He said, I want to help build a road that they can follow, and I'll walk down that road with them. I want to help people. And he also said that he wants to continue psychiatric treatment to understand myself better and work on my anger management problems. And eventually I'd like to go to college. He said, I want to work on myself and my problem. I want to better myself, and I want to show people who have little faith in me that I can get better. I can tell you right now, I will never kill again. I'm confident that I can be a good and model citizen. Mm-hmm. The prosecutor argued that he's a psychopath. He has psychopathic traits, is a terrible candidate for rehabilitation, and would pose a danger to the community forever if he's released after a few years. He said, Your Honor, there are unfortunately some kids we just can't fix, and this is one of them, and points at him. She said she stopped short of labeling him a psychopath only because that title clinically only goes to people who are 18 and older. So otherwise he'd be one. Yeah. So she just said psychopathic traits. She said that this youth has already committed the worst possible behavior that we can think of to use to predict future behavior. She said he's dangerous as long as he's capable of picking up a gun and shooting someone. Wow. Okay. The defense said, I mean, Jesus Christ, we have all of these fucking pages and hundreds of pages of petitions of people that don't want this kid to be sent away. He said that 7 of the letters are from jurors from the trial.
Wow.
The jurors from his trial.
Of a
7.
dozen. Unbelievable.
Took their time to write letters. One juror, Diane Knox, wrote, I do not understand why it is felt that due to the degree of the charges, a child is any less of a child. This is the problem I have with the whole sentencing youth as adults thing. Degree is capable of changing neither a child's age nor their lack of foresight and emotional maturity at the time of the crime. Just because you do something insanely evil, it doesn't mean that you have more knowledge than any other kid about the future or anything else. It's crazy. So the judge says here, the weight of the evidence led him to conclude that Cody did suffer from PTSD and depression, both treatable conditions at time of the killings. He said, additionally, there is evidence that the situational nature of the violence makes it less likely that he would pose a future danger to the public. You, sir, may fuck off. Juvenile sentenced as. He'll be out when he's 21.
Okay.
Sentenced as a juvenile
shocked.
For everything.
That's great.
I'm shocked, too.
Yeah?
I'm shocked at that, yeah.
I don't even know what to say. I mean, Cody must have shat his pants.
That's right, yeah. He was like, oh, God. And the judge went on to say, if the legislature wants adult sentences for every 14-year-old convicted of first-degree murder, they can change the law. That's what I said. Yeah. Make an adult 14 now then, and then let them drive and fucking drive, and then go, oh, wow, that's stupid. They're not adults.
Otherwise,
and then you go back.
Keep sentencing like this because this is the guidelines. Also,
he's
Cody, please don't fucking make fools of us.
Don't fuck this up. Don't fuck. He said, but the children's code is now written, and it starts out with the assumption that children who commit crimes, even very serious crimes, should be treated differently than adults who commit those crimes.
Yeah.
His side of the courtroom broke into applause, and everybody was saying thank you. They took him out of the courtroom, and he said thank you to everybody. He waved. Yeah. Now, his defense attorney said, Gary Mitchell said, Cody told him, "Don't worry, Mr. Mitchell, I'm not going to disappoint anyone." He said that. Don't worry, I won't fuck this up.
He knows.
Yep. And Mitchell said all we ever wanted for him was to remain in the children's system and get help. Now he gets that help. He said he couldn't recall another case in New Mexico in which a judge gave a juvenile convicted of first-degree murder a juvenile rather than an adult sentence. So it's always an adult sentence. I'm lucky
So the
here.
judge believes it too.
Yeah. And the county sheriff, Tom Sullivan, he is the sheriff of Lincoln County at the time, just so everyone knows exactly who he is in case you want to call him an asshole. He said that this sentence, quote, sends a message to the children of Lincoln County that you can murder your parents and you can shoot your sister in the eye if she tattles on you. No matter how serious the crime, as long as you're a juvenile, you'll never go to prison.
No, sir. What it does is it sends a message to the parents of Lincoln County. Don't fuck with your kids because if they murder you, they're out when they're 21. So be a fucking good dad. For
Everyone
Christ's
be
sake.
cool. You don't beat them, they don't murder you, everybody's happy at that point.
Unbelievable. What a stupid fucking view to have. That's a man that lived a fucking nice childhood. That's what it is.
That's what he doesn't know any better. Now, his stepsister's father, okay, the girl he killed's biological father said, quote, "He's a good kid. They pushed him too far."
Oh, Jake, you're such an angel.
They shot this man's literally a fucking anyone who can take all of that and still take in facts and other, anything on the side, other factors and put him in there. That's really a good person. He said,
great guy.
What we wanted for Cody was a chance to grow up, to be someone. Judge Counts gave him that chance. That's incredible.
Jake knows too then. Jake's very well aware of what happened.
What a fucking good person he is, man.
Truly.
Honestly, that's a decent human being that can forgive like that. So Cody's dad's brother here, this is Verlin, again.
His uncle.
He maintained that the stories of abuse were lies and said he was, quote, heartbroken that the judge could discount the lives of my brother's family, especially that little girl. Wow. He called it a gross miscarriage of justice. Mm-hmm. Then his wife, Shonda, said, "This is not over for Cody. Cody's going to have to live with this for the rest of his life. If he's seeing anything at all in Marielle and Marilee's face the day that he killed her, he deserves to replay that image every night, and I hope he does." Okay. Now, she also said, but Cody's still our nephew.
He wants to come hang out have a banquet with Uncle Verlin?
This is the wife. This is Shonda. Yeah. She said, Cody's still our nephew. He's all that we have left of Paul, and I think one of these days we will find the love for him again.
Ew.
Weird. Okay. September 2006, the family, mainly Verlin, by the way, sues video game makers because it's their fault.
Goddamn Doom.
It's not? Wow. That is wild. And we did a bonus episode where we covered this suit and we mentioned this case in the suit.
Oh, really?
Do you remember Sam Donaldson's ranch?
Yeah.
And you were like, wow, weird. Yeah, that's what this case is. Apparently, relatives here are suing. They said a video game may not by itself cause a teen or another individual to kill, the lawsuit says, but it can provide indispensable or final link in a casual chain that results in tragedy. A lot of things can, and you can't sue them over it. The suit said that he obsessively played Grand Theft Auto Vice City.
Okay.
Which so did I at that point in time.
Yeah.
You?
Yeah.
Yeah. It was fun. Never killed anybody. I did want to try to jump a car one time. I really did, but I knew that wasn't going to work for me, so I didn't.
Yeah, they're so heavy in the front.
Yeah, it doesn't work that well.
They nosedive real fast.
Oh, man. The suit repeatedly refers to violence-filled video games such as Grand Theft Auto as virtual reality murder simulators. Oh. Dude, have you seen the graphics on Vice City? It's not simulating anything. It's not simulating jack shit.
Together. Jesus.
The suit was filed on behalf of Verlin.
Yeah.
And they go on to say that the suit seeks compensatory and punitive damages against Cody, the Sony Corporation, Take-Two, and Rockstar Games. Everybody.
All right.
A Florida attorney, Jack Thompson, who's a fucking jackass. We talked about him on our Patreon a lot. Yep. He's a complete dildo, this guy. He said, our goal is to punish them so severely that they will stop marketing this game to kids. By the way, there's all sorts of shady shit about Jack if you look him up. He's a fucking scumbag. They market them for kids. They assure parents as well as kids through various lobbyists that they are not harmful to kids, and that's not true. Okay. So, there you go. They said they said he's a cold-blooded killer and he got it from the games. Right. It's thrown out, obviously, because it's fucking stupid. 2008, they appeal the video game suit.
Really?
They appeal it again, and a state district court judge in New Mexico dismissed the wrongful death lawsuit for failure to provide a legal, valid basis for the damage claim. State Court of Appeals then tossed out the appeal of that decision, saying the notice of appeal in the case had not been filed on time. So I don't even care what you had to say. Your paperwork sucks. Fuck off. Yeah. Now, 2010, Cody turns 21. Yeah. And he is released first to a halfway house and then into the community.
Oh, boy.
At 21, his uncle Carl, who is his nice aunt's husband, said he has a bright future. I see no problems with him progressing and getting on with the rest of his life like the rest of us. A spokeswoman for the New Mexico Children's Youth and Families Department said that, yes, he is a free man. While in custody, he obtained his high school degree and completed nearly 2 years' worth of college credits. Okay. They said that he also had 0 disciplinary issues and served as a mentor to other youths.
I got a fucking sinking feeling that all those kids in that other one fucked with him, and that's why he had to fight.
It's a holding thing, so you got to fight. Yeah. And I think also, and this is whatever, but I bet I don't know how many in this part of the state. I don't know how many blonde kids were in the lockup.
Yeah.
Also, you know what I mean?
Is he a blonde?
It might have been. Yeah, he's a blonde kid named Cody, and he's in a lockup in southeastern New Mexico, and he might be in with a lot of people that he can't even speak English, that he can't talk to, and they're like, hey, blonde kid, what are you doing in here?
Right.
And they've had much worse lives than him a lot of the times, so that's the problem, too.
At the end.
Yeah, one of the two.
Yeah.
So he did all of that. Posey said he just wants a fresh start. His uncle said, I'm excited for him. I look forward to helping him as much as possible. But 2006, a lawsuit was filed not only against the game company, but against Cody. It's a wrongful death lawsuit. The family is awarded $87 million from Cody.
Okay.
Now, they did say this. They told him that one of the people in the suit said that they don't plan to garnish Cody's wages to collect it because they're not going to get that.
Yeah.
But they do. This ensures that he can't, sell his story to the movies and make a bunch of money and be some kind of hero. He said, a 21-year-old kid with no skills is not going to have any wages anyway. I'm not interested in that.
That's so fucked up to be able to hang that over his head for the rest of his life.
I can take your money. Now, I found there's a book, by the way, in 2022 that was written called Blind Eye by Martha Burns, and they call it a thinly fictionalized version of the story.
I don't like that writing when he shot 3 people in the fucking eye.
Yeah, blind eye, exactly, because everybody turned a blind eye to the abuse. Yeah. But she, it's the case. I mean, Jesus, they might have changed a name or two, but I mean, she describes the autopsies exactly like they happened. So I mean, nothing fictional about there. I did find Cody.
Yeah.
He's going under his real name. Appears to live in Texas at this point. He was working in the tire industry for a long time, all different tire shops. Now it looks like he got back into ranch work here. He did go to college as well, New Mexico Community College. And, the one even has listed as where he was is jail was in there on it. So I was like, oh, that's got to be him. So, there he is. There's Cody. He's out there. And I don't know. This is one of those cases where you go, fuck.
What do you do?
Discuss it amongst yourselves because those are the facts. I don't know.
So fucked up
how to judge it because there's so many different emotions coming into it.
I don't know if his dad forced him to sleep with that woman, but if he did, that's fucked up too.
That's sick.
The poor girl, I feel bad for. If that happened, the only person I feel bad for is that daughter.
That's it. Just the daughter.
Yeah.
Me too.
And Jake,
I feel terrible for her.
Jake seems to be robbed too, and he's very sweet about it, but
that poor guy, man. Jesus. Yeah, I think he realized it was collateral damage, I think, and it's just really sad, though. So if you enjoyed that story, or at least how we told it, because there's no way to enjoy a story of beatings, molestation, and murders, but you can enjoy how we told it. And if you do like that, give us 5 stars on whatever app you're listening on. Just say something nice. It doesn't matter what you want to say. Yeah. Tell us what your favorite, let's say you like peanut butter and jelly. What kind of jelly do you like? Is it jam? Is it regular? Strawberry? Grape? Boysenberry? What do you fucking like? Tell us.
Who's your favorite ninja of the 3?
We want to know. Either one. So do that. Check us out at shutupandgivememurder.com, where you get your tickets for live shows. September 20th, State Theater, Minneapolis.
Hell yeah.
Come be a part of the biggest small town murder show ever. And let's hear the loudest Shut Up and Give Me Murder of all time. We can't wait. And then get your tickets for the rest of the year, too. Shutupandgivememurder.com. Follow us on social media at Small Town Murder on Instagram, at Small Town Pod on Facebook, and at Murder Small on Twitter. Patreon.com/Crime and Sports is where you get all the bonus materials, and also listen to our other shows, Crime and Sports and Your Stupid Opinions. Bonus materials, $5 or above, gets you everything. Back catalog of hundreds of episodes, and new ones every other week. 1 Crime and Sports, 1 Small Town Murder, and you get access to it all, or you can have 1 cup of coffee. Come on, what do you want here? So do that. What are you going to do? So follow us, do all of that, and Patreon this week, what we have for Crime and Sports, which you have access to, the Duke lacrosse scandal. There's strippers, there's allegations, and there's a lot of lying, so we'll talk all about that. Then for Small Town Murders, we're going to talk about the whole Idaho Koberger disaster, this fucking guy. I don't like this guy, and I want to talk about him, basically. I want to call him a schmuck, even though it hasn't been done yet. You can't have that much DNA and act that pompous about it. I'm sorry. That's crazy. That's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
So we'll talk all about that. Shutupandgivememurder.com. And you get a shout out. Those happen right fucking now.
Hey.
Jimmie, give me the list of the names of the people who would never, ever, ever force us to have sex with our stepmothers. Hit me with them right now.
This week's executive producers are Cindy Ryan. Happy birthday, by the way.
Happy birthday.
Skyla Powell, happy birthday.
Happy
Holy
birthday.
shit, the 2 of yous.
Hey.
Hope they're great days. Gary Howard and Dave Weasel. Dave Weasel, and Gary, too, has been listening a long time, but Dave Weasel is a comedian. He's been listening to us for a very long time also. He's a wonderful person. I've known him from Twitter for 8 years ago or so. He's terrific. Thank you, Dave.
Fucking
you're a
Dave.
sweetheart.
Salute.
Other producers this week are Crystal Bobseen, Kelly from, hello, Kelly from the IT guy's wife. All right. Trying to figure out why I wrote that like that. That's I don't know. Maybe the IT guy's wife wants. Why'd you do that, Jimmie?
Register that, everybody. Not trying to figure out why they wrote this. I'm trying to figure out why I wrote this like this. Just make sure you registered that, please, everyone.
I think the IT guy's wife is jealous of Kelly and wants her to leave him alone. I don't know.
Maybe. Coming over the house all the time, really being
making wild accusations, Kelly.
Work for Ruben
Other
Carter.
producers continuing are Janice Hill, Scarlett Horbeast III, Paula T, Sarah. Oh, it's Keen. Jacqueline Rose.
Big build up.
Very easy. Suspense. Scottish McMuffin, Dylan Langley, Anya Darkstar, Clay with no last name, Micah with no last name, Amanda Stewart, Jacob Wise, Tim Bland, Tammy with no last name, Greg with no last name, Shadow Thomas, Rebecca Kunle, Kunal, Anna Walter Rink, holy shit, Melissa Fees, Mackenzie Malloy, Brittany Messer, Derek Lemons, almost called him Lemons, Jess Dixon, Maria Cece, Sarah Irvin, William Kammer, I think, Joseph G, Heather B, Soul, like the sun. James.
Heather B,
Spanish
the rapper.
Soul, SOL. Yeah, Heather B, the rapper.
From the Real World first season.
I don't think that.
From the
maybe
from the Boogie Down Productions crew.
I hope not.
BDP in the fucking house.
Adriana Justice, Craig G, Jen Thomas, Frankie G, Samantha Danino, Frank Grill, Ashley Rose, Jennifer Loya, Brian Cush, Flower Child.
Oh,
BMX.
Good flower there.
Big smoker, big bike rider. That's Brian.
I like it.
I know a lot of things about Brian right now.
Good dude, yeah. He's doing good
Courtney
stuff out
Latham, the Hey Elliott podcast, Matt with no last name, Eric Sawtell, Lisa Hambley, Annalie Olson, Roxanne Hines, Deanna with no last name, MLT, Chrissy with no last name, Colt Cochran, the Mexicution.
What? Is he Mexican and kills, or does he kill Mexicans?
Evidently. That is a fantastic name.
That's hilarious.
Nate Sheehan, Gary Jenkins, Jesse Wright, Sarah Cunningham, Julie D., Brent Howard, Kathy Gonsar, Derek Long, Sherry Green, Amy Brooks, Yesenia Marie, Dump Truck. All right, that's very nice. Sylvan, somebody with a giant round ass. Sylvan Diebel, I think. Megan Murphy, just Meg Murphy. Christy Busby. Oh, that just reminded me of Busby from Australia.
Yeah, Mark.
That guy. Holy
Mark
shit. Sherry Stanton. Sorry, not to distract from you, Christy.
Not
You're
to
wonderful.
Take anything away from you. You're the real hero this week. Mark Busby
Christy
didn't do
Busby.
shit for us this
Remember Mark Busby? What a guy.
He did nothing for us this week. You did.
Jesse Rimland, that's a great land. Megan with no last name. Cindy with no last name. Lindsay Hood, Ginger Gal, Alexandria Weltalka, Candace Pashal, Raina M, Raina maybe, Tiffany Herbert, Nebby Nose, Randy with no last name, Laurel Mannion, Nate Brooks, Scott Fineout, Emma Downing, Clover with no last name, Elf with no last name, Jason Hart, Michelle Carmen, John Solomon, Loyal Turkey, Peter Newell, Angela Jones, Motherfucker Jones, all right.
Motherfucker.
Sheila Van Nort, Emily Westrick, Sarah Hill, Jess Herring, Reedy? What is that?
What is that?
It is.
Why
Reedy.
did I write
All right.
this? How did I write this?
Who would do that? Mark with no last name. Soraya Henry, Catherine Lanino, Laino, David Holloway, Angel Giovanni, Andy Gilbert, Mike Davis, Courtney Harris, Victoria Barra Fernandez, Courtney Vasquez, RJ Callens Jr., Dustin Brown, Hip Young Tommy Guns. Hip Young Tommy Guns. He may be a boxer. We don't know.
Maybe.
Brian Dubeck, probably not. Katie, Carly Markert.
Hey.
Salah Nayazi. Jalen Robertson. Chavara with no last name. Chance McDaniel. Hey, Chance, how are you, bud? Ray Dog. Jenny Hulche. Christy Denler. Lusco. Melanie Simone. Diane from Spokane. Carrie Turner.
Kinda rhymes.
That rhymes. It does. I like that.
Kind of rhymes.
That's very cool.
Yeah, move to a city that rhymes with your name.
Whisman from where the fuck
I'm
is
Jimmie
that?
from Kissimmee. Nice to meet you.
There
That's what you gotta be.
Much better. Yeah, it's gotta be the first name, I guess, right?
Yeah, it has to be.
Where the fuck am I? Carrie Turner, Haley Fisher, Susan Rabout, Melanie DeSantos, Alex Richmond, Tara Rodriguez, Joe Fenton, Billy Colley, Matt, and Jesse Schlichten. Yep. Cakes with no last name. Lindsay Langley, Brother Bear, Jackie Ferran, D. Goobleman, Woody Woodmansey. What is that? That's a road somewhere, right?
Yeah, wasn't it?
Is that a place somewhere?
It's a town. It's a city.
Yeah, I think you're right. Jen Holder, Stacy Henry, Nellie Noble, Tracy Pettit, Jen Fred, Cameron Grip, Jimmie with no last name, Melissa with no last name, Shelley with no last name, Mason Gordon, Libby Alderfer, Christina with no last name, and then Christina Britz. I got a feeling that's one person, two different patrons. Thank you,
well,
Christina.
thank you.
Otherwise, thank both of you. Jason, the no-hooker killing trucker, James. He kills no hookers.
That's good.
He kills everybody but hookers. Christopher Sharp.
You got to have standards, and not even standards. You got to have
you
got to have an appetite.
401k. Otherwise, you're not worth it.
Know your appetites. That's all. And
Georgia Schwartzkopf, Silent Storm,
Norman's
Kyler
wife.
with no last name, Leah Works, Delgado, and all of our patrons. Obviously, you guys are the best. Thank you.
Thank you so much, everybody. We cannot thank you enough for all that you do for us, for all that you continue to do for us. Mm-hmm. Tell your friends, spread the word, keep hanging out with us. You want to follow us on social media, shutupandgivememurder.com has the drop-down menu. And until next week, everybody, it's been our pleasure.
Bye.
If you like Small Town Murder, you can listen early and ad-free now by joining Wondery Plus in the Wondery app or on Apple Podcasts. Prime members can listen early and ad-free on Amazon Music. Before you go, tell us about yourself by filling out a short survey at Wondery.com/survey.
A few miles from the glass spires of Midtown Atlanta lies the South River Forest, In 2021 and 2022, the woods became a home to activists from all over the country who gathered to stop the nearby construction of a massive new police training facility, nicknamed Cop City.
At approximately 9 o'clock this morning, as law enforcement was moving through various sectors of the property, an individual, without warning, shot a Georgia State Patrol trooper.
This is We Came to the Forest, a story about resistance.
The abolitionist mission isn't done until every prison is empty and shut down.
Love and fellowship.
It was probably the happiest I've ever been in my life.
And the lengths we'll go to protect the things we hold closest to our hearts. Follow We Came to the Forest on the Wondery app or wherever you get your podcasts. You can binge all episodes of We Came to the Forest early and ad-free right now by joining Wondery Plus.